Welcome to Riichi fans all around the world to the World Riichi YouTube channel for the World Riichi League Finals US edition. Earlier today, we had coverage of the European World Riichi League Finals, and today we'll get to see the same US version. Nathaniel here to provide some of the coverage of the US matches. And alongside on the mic is Jen from JPML. How's it going, Jen?
Hello. What's up? Yeah, the European finals were awesome.
I know I was watching some of them before I had to sleep, but they were absolutely fantastic and exciting to watch. And I'm so excited for the US version as well, because I know so many of these players. I actually played in the World Riichi League Chicago tournament. There were 3 tournaments held simultaneously on the East Coast in New York, on the West Coast in San Francisco, and also in the middle of the United States in Chicago. And it was a great experience, a ton of fun, and a lot of my favorite players in the US scene, both competitive and otherwise, are in the finals. And so I can't wait to see how everybody will do.
Yeah, it's like doing Armo but live. I guess. I'm not like live, but like never mind. It's like doing Armo, but
Yeah,
we
of
have a
course.
lot of the same guys here too.
I think almost half, just about half of the participants in the finals are also in the American Riichi Mahjong League as well. And that's another huge thing for us. Not only do we have the stream of some of the games here on WRC channel, but also there will be a co-stream on the Armel Twitch broadcast as well, twitch.tv/American Riichi. So if you your favorite player is not in one of the games that we're covering at the moment, go pop over there and give them a view. Make sure to subscribe here first.
Yeah, like and subscribe. There's a link for the Twitch channel in the description, so you can go back and forth. You can have both open at the same time. Oh.
Good. Well, I guess there are so many players. There are 16 different players, which will cover 4 different tables. We're going to be watching game number 1 that will be on table number 1, and that is set to start in about 4 minutes. It sounds like the games have begun. So as we wait for the delay, we can take a look at the players that we'll be watching.
So they're spread out over 4 tables. We will only get to cover 2 of the tables, or cover 1 game from each from table 1 and 1 game from table 3. Only 2 games in the qualifying rounds. And I'm not sure actually if Armo is going to cover just 1 table, 2 games on 1 table, or 1 game on each table. They were still debating that the last I heard. But you will be able to see the players that we are not covering over there, or at least some of them.
And for our table, of course, table 1 will be Brian W., also known as Silver DFN Game, Xiyuan, Quincy, and Jerry. Table 2 will be Wen-Chien, Dennis, Edward, and Kevin. Table 3, Max, Hisashi, Garrett, and Sheng-Hao. Table 4, Aaron, Emily, Kristy, and Carl. And for these players, there's a mix of, depending on which qualifier they participated in. Table 1 features 2 players from the Chicago tournament that I did not get the chance to play Brian in that tournament, but I did play Jerry, and we had an incredibly exciting game. And now they're facing off in the finals. I guess this would be the semifinals. Top player advances.
Your points to good use.
Exactly. All the points that I gave Jerry by not holding Tempai and getting 3rd place instead of 2nd place, Jerry made good use. And we'll be playing here against Brian. Xiyuan is from the West Coast qualifier in San Francisco, and Quincy qualified from the New York qualifier. So a healthy mix of players from around the US. It'll be interesting to see how they end up matching up against each other in this online format.
That's true, because they didn't get to play each other live, and that's one of the great things about this World Riichi League, is that since it is worldwide, we're going to be utilizing Ronron and getting all the players together for things like this. as the league and the organization grows.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that maybe in the future we get to have crossover between the European World Riichi League finalists and the US ones as well. Maybe a show battle between the champions, the final tables. That'd be
That
cool.
is definitely something that I want to see as well.
And having the Ron client allows us to have these showdowns across the whole world, really.
Yeah, we did have the Roddle twice. We're in the second rendition of the Roddle. Right now with the 3-player one, but the 4-player one started last year. It was the first ever like online pro AMA league, and it was a team competition. And it was just massive, the summer one with it was a 4-player mahjong. But
It was kind
that
of
was also
unbelievable how many teams there were.
Yeah, and it was multiple leagues in multiple professional organizations in Japan, as well as tons of teams outside of Japan. So it was a really exciting event. And one of the non-Japanese teams made it to the finals as well.
All right, just a reminder, everybody, 2 games will be played. Top player advances to the finals here. Jerry will be our first dealer. Brian to the right in the south seat. Xiyuan is going to be in the west seat across the table, and Quincy on our left. One of the differences to the broadcast that we've had recently on our channel is that we get to see all the hands. I'm so excited.
I know. So I was doing that in the European broadcast earlier today, and I forgot how fast it is because the play is so much faster. It is true that you can see all the hands at once, but the speed kind of makes up for it, so it's just as challenging in both situations.
Doors the 3 mod. Jerry opens up with a great high pipe, draws the door here on the 4th pickup. Can move to Tanya, maybe 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku. On the right, there's an east pair, so Brian can open up if he would like to play for speed. A couple weak shapes in the Sozu, but outside of that, pretty solid. Chuan across the table has amazing Mon shape. Maybe there's an Itsu there, but it's just very close to Tempai already. Could be slamming a Riichi soon. And
yeah, I really like that the 4, 5, 5, 6 shape in Xiyuan's hand. Really flexible.
Yeah, Quincy is probably got the slower hand here. Oh, ace Anko for Brian. Straight into Ishantam. Can't wait on the Dora. Should he draw the 4-7 pin first? Open up for Jerry, though. He's not going to want to allow Brian any time to complete his hand. He just wants to get a repeat as the dealer. No Sanchoku here, though. Got the 8-so instead of the 5-so.
Each.
As expected, West player with the early Riichi Dora 1, waiting 3-pin. Brian will pick the easy chase.
Chasing. And also a poem for Tempai. And the dealer gets it.
With 2 Dora pair, Jerry picking up to the 3-mon, and this flurry of action, I think we're going to see repeated throughout this game over and over again. Everyone here extremely efficient, and we might see a lot of these battles with 2 or 3 players Tempai.
You can see we're talking about the World Riichi Online Team League, and that's what Silver, what Brian there has as his icon. If you play in the league, then you get to use your team's icon on Ron. So you can see the Snake Shack. Snake Shack.
They have a quite an amusing server there for people who study using AI, and Jerry is one of those. I know he mentioned that in his maybe like 5 years of playing, he does really enjoy studying using as an assist. I don't know if he uses Nagamore or something like Mortal, but it's been becoming more and more popular these days to use the AI to help study.
Yeah, and a lot of pros really recommend it as well. It's not going to be that great against professional players when you're playing live, but it's definitely really good to get the basics down and to find new lines that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Well, Jerry opens up with Dora again, so another great opportunity for him to pull ahead. 8-mon not even going to accept it. Already discarded the 9-mon earlier. Brian, Ishanten on the right, potential Pinhu Ipeko if you can draw the 1-pin. Across the table, another relatively fast high by for Xiyuan as well. Missing 8, so really, if that could be filled in, we're fantastic. 3 still is a good upgrade though. Can go 3-sided in the Sozu, and we'll just play for that shape.
So actually, Jerry did fill out a survey before any players filled out a survey first, and Jerry likes to study with Lucky J and Mortal.
Oh, very good. Riichi 3-sided across the way. Xuyuan has Riichi Pinhu, and immediately Quincy draws the deal-in tile. We'll hold it. Don't know if he's going to be encouraged to fight here. Is Ishanten, but the final weight is going to be poor. Oh, there's a Dama for Brian as well. Gets the expensive side, Ipeko along with the Pinhu. And not chasing the Riichi that time.
Yeah, I didn't chase with the reach, but picked up Xiyuan's reach stick.
So in the lead, Jerry, second place. Brian with the dealership. 8 Sodora. None held here by the dealer, but really another super fast looking hand. Just a couple bad shapes, but already straight into Ishanten. Another great high pie on the right, though. It looks like we could see another Riichi Pinhu, maybe with Dora usage this time. And Quincy, once again, another Penchon and multi-pair hand.
Brian drew the 4 dot, which gives him a great chance for the twin sequence, Ipeko, as well as just a lot more flexibility in the hand. Although it doesn't keep the 2 for that flexibility. It chooses to keep the Sanzo, the 3 bamboo instead. Possibly for that sneaky 3-4 weight.
Interesting choice. You can have Sanako draws, so I think, yeah, cutting away from the 3, so.
Yeah, now that the 4 tripled up. Before that, I think there was a chance that he may have switched, like pivoted to the inside hand if he drew like the 4 bamboo first, but.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, cutting away from the north pair. Now the question is, can we draw a 7-mon or 8-mon and think even bigger? Quincy has turned his hand across the table into something that can try to win, moving towards the insides.
I think it looks like maybe pairs might be the only shot at tempo.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's Sanako, but okay, we'll take the Riichi. 3 concealed triplets in the hand. Did not wait for the Suako chance.
Yeah, even though there are no 7s and no 8s on the board, they are in everyone's hands, so we would not get the Suanko chance likely, but besides, you know, this is first place, all or nothing, and maybe it feels like one of those rounder situations. You know, I don't have all night. It's gotta get the points here and now. And definitely the 6-9 is going to be easier to win on than any sort of Suanko 4 concealed triples weight that he would come up with.
Yeah, certainly. If you win the Yakuman, you put yourself in excellent position to take the whole thing, but the odds are a lot lower, so just going to take what you can for now. Jerry's making a fight of this, though, waiting on the 5-8-mon for White Dragon only.
Sumo. Oh, there it is!
It up.
Need Sumo, 3 concealed triples. No Ura, but that's still 4,000 from each player, and that will put him in a comfortable first place.
Huge dealer win for Brian. Brian, a fantastic player out of the middle of the United States in Indiana. He's been playing Riichi for 5 years, but only 1 year of in-person tournament experience. That was last year for the US WRC qualification cycle. And he spent a lot of time practicing handling tiles because he played almost exclusively online. He didn't have anybody to play with in his area, unfortunately. But he picked it up very quickly and went on to win the North American Open 2024, which provided him a seat directly into WRC. It was a fantastic showing, and since then he's been an absolutely dominant force in US Mahjong, and it seems here as well in the online finals.
Yeah, it's definitely a great advertisement for the AI trainers, because even if you don't have, you're not able to play with other people that often. It's not something you used to be able to do. You used to have to find people to play with or go to parlors or to get really good and get that experience in. But now you can get so much experience online, even if there's nobody around you who plays.
This is such an interesting choice. Do you hold the 2-mon for the door, or do you just take the 7-mon Kutsuki? We'll end up cutting away from the door acceptance.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. He's in first place right now, really comfortably, and just wants to continue the dealer ship. And there it is. Yeah.
Not going to wait for the Sanchoku draw.
Yeah, it's a little bit far away, not guaranteed on either side. So, but there were so many sticky, we call it sticky, went away tiles to go with not just the 7 character that we could see, but also with the 5, 6, 7, 8 bamboo shape, as well. And even because it's so long, the shape is so long, starting with the 3, there was a lot more as well. It would have been the Sanshoku
if you waited long enough, but you know what, this is pretty good too.
Yeah, still 2600. All that's basically a Mangan hand for a non-dealer. It's equivalent score-wise.
Wow.
And another great starting hand.
And around the table, these aren't bad either. On the right, that's a decent collection of so tiles as well as a door shape, a strong door shape. And wow, the 4th of the 5 so pulled into hand. I don't think we're going to see a con. At least not yet, but maybe in the future. Xiyuan is in last place currently, and only the top player advances. This is a distinction from the European event, which only had 8 players competing. There are 16 here in the US, and so it's even more important that you get off to a good start. So maybe adding some volatility with a con, increasing your potential value, could be a good thing.
Brian pulled in another Dora while we were talking about it. And there's the con.
Into Tempai has to give up the Dora. It does not flip a new Dora 9-mon. But first Riichi, great opportunity.
Yeah, and lots more opportunities for Dora underneath those 2 indicators. I think I only see 2 4 bamboos on the board.
Wait, so reasonably live in the wall?
I'm saying that there's only 2 4 bamboos, so it could, the 5 bamboo could be the Uradora.
It's definitely a chance. And good opportunity for Tsumo as well. 4 tiles left. Find the Tsumo. If one of the Uda indicators is that 4, so a huge hand, potentially. Are you, Jen, an Uda flipper?
No.
Do you hit?
No, it's actually quite incredible how often I do not hit.
Well, let's find out if Xiyuan is 2. That's okay.
Yeah, 2. It wasn't the bamboo, but it's still Mangan hand 2,000, 4,000, taking a big chunk from the first place dealer, Brian.
Brian loses 4,000 points plus Homba, whereas the other player is only losing out on 2. So the scores will balance out a little bit. Still, Brian with about 20,000 points on all the other players. And now, dealer turn for Xiyuan. It is only East 3, so lots of time for the situation to change. And that's a great draw. 9 so moves us in the direction of a fully outside hand.
With 2 Doras, so definitely even worth calling for this hand. possible Sanshoku as well to go with it.
Could be incredibly fast if the draws like these keep coming in. I dealt into one of these in my final Armal game. It's like 6th turn, 1 call, Sanshoku Jun Chandora 1 on a Tanki. Brutal. 12,000 points.
When we're playing normal online like ladder games, then you're gonna see a lot fewer of the outside hands because there are red fives. It's just not worth it most of the time. But in these rules with no red fives, it's gonna be, you can get
Oh my goodness, Dora 3.
or you
And
get
now
3.
you have to sacrifice one of your blocks. We'll go with the 3 pin, and of course hold on to the 1 pin because we can still pair that up. 1 pin, 9 mon, 1 mon, 9. So all of these could be our future pair. So much flexibility right now.
Yeah, and even with the Sanshoku chance, even the 3-mon it wouldn't be quite as good because you do want that Junkan hand, but it still could get a Mangon with just the Sanshoku and 3 Dora if the 3-mon pairs up, so everything that could help this hand is just great.
In the meantime, the closest player to Tenpai is probably Brian, who is now, well, Tenpai waits on Dora Tanki. Little does he know, those are all being held. Had the choice for 3-6 so as well, but I wanted to snipe a little bit of extra value into this hand. I wonder if there's a draw that will cause him to switch off of this weight. Certainly if he pulls in the 2-so, he can discard the 5-so, waiting on 1 for Nobetan shape. Is there an alternate choice? Well, this 1 pin looks amazing. He might just reach you that. No, he thought about it though.
Oh, and the perfect 7 character comes in for Xiyuan. Now just 1 away.
They're just playing the headless shape. Probably not really expecting to win so easily on the 2-so, 3-so, even though it's a wider weight, potentially. It is close to the door, so the player is less inclined to discard it.
Yeah, a lot of players will hold the 2-3 waiting for 1-4, but none of these players are. They can tell something is dangerous, something's fishy around there, and they're following the 2 bamboo discard, it seems.
I still cut the 4-mon here, even though it's technically wider, just because I like my calling options, but Xuzhi wants to draw it himself.
Yeah, but now I wonder if he draws the 7 bamboo, will they discard the Dora for the Pinfu, the Riichi Pinfu Sanshoku Dora Dora?
You're not wrong. That does seem like a totally valid way to play here. Riichi Pinfu Dora 2 is excellent, and you probably value the wider
With
weight.
Sanshoku as well.
Even here, it could come out.
There it is, yep.
Amazingly, Brian's completely dead weight does come out as Xiyuan does get the 5-mon. It did pan out, that wide acceptance, but in the wrong way.
There's so much potential, and this ended in tragedy. And that will end Xiyuan's dealership, and we'll go to Quincy for East 4. And Quincy is a player that I have played against in Armal.
Quincy, a really recognizable name. He travels around the US a lot to play in tournaments, so I feel like just about everyone has met and played with him. He's an awesome person. He's been playing Riichi for 10 years, so really experienced player. Plays in the largest club in the US, Riichi Nomi, in New York. Big fan of Junchan Sanshoku, which is what we almost saw from
I was thinking about that, like, that was Quincy's favorite 2 Yaku, especially to use together, and it looked like Xiyuan was gonna get it, but...
One interesting note about Quincy is that he doesn't really compete online that much. So he prefers over-the-board play, in-person play.
I have to say, I definitely agree with that. I definitely prefer in-person play. Playing online is kind of a Alright, well,
Gee.
if I can't play anywhere else, fine, I'll play online. Personally.
Yeah, things like this World Riichi Online Finals, the World Riichi Online Team League. Myself, I play in the American Riichi Mahjong League, which is held online. That's just an opportunity to play against more players, increase the variety of players that you play against, play against other strong people from around the US or around the world. And
Right.
so,
I mean, Quincy said that, but he also plays in American Riichi Mahjong League.
well, yes, of course.
Reach from Brian.
Brian not content with holding 52,400 once more. Now, a couple open players might have a little bit of trouble defending. In fact, Jerry even just jams the 4-so. Is Tempai waiting on the 3-so itself? With 2 Dora.
Now Quincy is 1 away from ready as well. Draws one of the winning tiles.
2-so first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the more efficient play. Even though the 6-9 dot could be a fruity 10.
Oh, that's a
This
Tempai.
could be a 3-6-9 wait, but it goes for the non-fruity 10 wait instead.
Very natural,
deals into Brian.
Brian cannot lose. And Quincy's been making the best of the hands he's been given. We'll have one more dealership in the South rounds. We move to South 1. Jerry in the dealer seat. Folks, if you're watching from the US or around the world, let us know who you're cheering for. I know that a lot of different clubs are represented, at least from the US. So if you're a PML player, if you're from one of the big New York clubs, if you're from the Chicago club, let us know. Let us know who you're rooting for. And if you're somewhere else around the world, just pick a player, cheer for them.
Did Jerry have an extra discard? There were no calls, but Jerry had 2 discards and Brian had 1. I think there was
happens on Sheng-Hao. The easy fix is to switch player perspective, but we'll come back into the game and fix that. The Roman client is related to the Tenno client, and so they must share bugs.
Yeah, the extra. So the white discard was probably Quincy's, and somehow it was showing up in Jerry's discard.
I remember seeing a visual glitch where the Haku got pwned twice. That was very funny. There's a clip of that on the Armel Twitch channel. Okay, but Jerry with Dora floating in the hand will hope to connect to that and has a chance at a Pinfu as well, looking for sequences here. On the right, Brian going for my favorite Sanchoku 2-3-4. One away for that as well.
I have to say, I really like. Why is 2-3-4 such a great Sanshoku? It's also one of my favorite, but I don't know. I've never thought about why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Like for me, there's historical reasons, but it really just feels like a very sweet spot in the hand. But we're going to see a Riichi 3-sided from Quincy. These are the hands he's been looking for.
This is
a good opportunity.
Also tempo for Jerry, if he can discard the 5 character.
So hard though after a 4-man Riichi.
Cannot. Discards the safe 7 bamboo instead. Which is, I mean, I don't think anybody would hold it against him for discarding the 5 as a dealer.
Certainly not, especially when you're fighting for first place. But there are 2 games, and so if he deals in here, it could end in tragedy. He'll try to work this hand around though.
But it is a Dora, so he does want to try and use it anyway.
Brian shifts to defense mode. Collecting a bunch of deal-in tiles on the right there. 2, 5, 8, so 4 of them in hand.
And that is Tempai again, but this time with a worse weight. The 4 bamboo weight. And shifts over To a headless one away.
The 5-mon draw maybe would convince him to go back into a Shuri-ten Tenpai.
Could be
Cut the
pretty ten or
7-so away.
could, yeah.
Could just 6-so, yeah, and just take the 4-so.
Yeah, not anymore. It looks like this is a fold now for Jerry.
Yeah, and at this point, the 8-so is actually looking relatively safe, so could even just deal in on that. He still has the 3-pin. 9-pin is relatively safe now, too. Oh, yeah, we'll try a little bit longer. He drew a connector to the door, and that incentivized him to try the 8-so. Sotogawa to the early 7-so, but it will deal in. The Uda makes it a Mungan, and Jerry must look at that and say, if I just jammed the Dora. If only I knew what was in their hand. And unfortunately, there's just no way of knowing.
It's another testament, though, when you're folding, then you really got to fold all the way. I was a little bit late to try some tiles.
And that will put Quincy into second place, South 2. So now the scores are becoming rather relevant. WRC Uma is 15-5, so 10-point gap between all of the placements, and that will become important for as we look to the second game soon. But Brian has a dealership and looking to extend his huge lead. Still, it's Xiyuan first to Tenpai.
Yeah, and it also means that although the placing bonus, the Uma has significance, it's quite a bit smaller than a lot of the other rules use, like M-League and things like that. So what that means is that the points that you earn with your hands are actually way more important than they would be in other rules. Other rules, just getting in first place will give you 40 or 50 points, especially like the Sankei Shimbun Cup that we watch. But here, even if you have a massive second place, then you're going to still have a really good placement, and first place is not going to be that far ahead of you. So earning points with your hands becomes really important.
That makes this big lead for the dealer all the more important, but we'll see if you can hang on to it. There's a Riichi on the board. Dora coming out from that hand, so certainly feels like the hand is a bit devalued. It is Riichi with the twin sequences waiting on the 3-pin.
Yeah, 2 of which are in Quincy's hand, so there's 1 left in the wall somewhere.
I love Ipeiko as a Yako. I just don't win with it very much.
I hate it with the middleweight like that. I like it open-ended where there's a shot for it, but Brian has a really great shape, but decides pretty much to fold. Maybe a Mawashi, maybe we'll Tenpai again later, but for now we're gonna drop the pair of 2 bamboos.
Has drawn back into Ishanten really wide shapes, like as you were saying, this Samanchan in the Sozu, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 can accept 3, 6, 9. Also, the 2, 2, 4, 6, 6 is great when you are 1 away from Tenpai. He has lots of safe tiles in the Sozu to discard.
Back to 1 away. So I need 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's the winning tile. 2, 3, 5, 6 of characters will get him to Tenpai.
And that's the tile he steps on.
Yeah, there's no reason to take the risk here. He'd be just as happy if it ends in a draw and the dealership moves, and he's 1 hand closer to getting first place here.
Quincy gave some thought between discarding the 5-mon guaranteed save tile and the 2-mon Xuzhi. We'll try the Xuzhi. He wants to win this hand. He's fighting for twin sequences of his own. Will Brian get baited into fighting here?
I mean, I hope not. That's a lesson we were supposed to learn from the last hand. If you're gonna fold, then just fold and don't. In Japanese, we'd call it chutohampa, like half. I'm allowed to say half-ass. I don't know. I'll whisper it, and it will make it better.
Chi here.
So what Chi does is, yeah, exactly.
I always love to see that heads-up move. I was probably thinking about that actually on the previous cut the 1-mon, but
yeah, if nobody calls tiles the whole game, then the south player always has the last tile. So if the south players reach, a lot of times players will call for something to move the the last tile. And that means even if they win, if they draw their winner, it won't be on Haite. So it'll be worth a little bit less.
Nagashi in the chat. Rest in peace. No Nagashi Mangan in WRC rules, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, no Nagashi. There is Renho, though.
Yes.
Which is good, because if there's no Renho and you win on Renho without a Yakko, it's a Chombo. Don't need to ask how I know this.
Oh dear. Sounds like there's a story. Wow, we've got Tempai already, and Jerry's just gonna slam Riichi on the Dora indicator. Riichi +1, Riichi plus the Dora. I'm almost inclined to just wait and try to get a better weight or a better value somehow, but at this position in South 3, an early Riichi like this throws a ton of pressure on the other players.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if I did decide to change it or wait, what would I do for it? It's really, I mean, the best thing that I would think it would be end up being the Dora discard, and I don't want to do that, so.
A 7-pin is interesting as well, because if we draw the 6 mon, we can just get the 8 so.
True.
We can sometimes pair up the Dora for Tempai.
Yeah, locking in the open-ended is definitely a good option as well.
At the same time, we can see Jerry was not going to improve this weight at all. So who knows what the other hands would have been able to accomplish in this time should he not have declared Riichi. Quincy might still be fighting, currently pseudo-headless. Can just use the 4-mon as a pair, but might just dance around. Not going to 4-pin, 5-pin here. Instead, 1 so, 2 so, 3 so, and try to find his way back into a Tempai.
The only Dora indicator matching tiles that we see is there's one in Xiyuan's hand. So that means there's 2 left in the wall still.
See, one of those goes to Quincy. Quincy is now out for good. Xiyuan, the only player with a chance here, still one away from Tempai. I think he would, or they would call the 5 so or 8 so.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it to get the K10 shape as dealer here. Like right now, with how many points Brian has in the second game, it's going to be really hard for anyone to catch up unless they can push Brian into last place. And I think we all know that Brian is not someone who's pushed into last place easily.
Yes. That doesn't quite do it, so it looks like we're just finding the safest tile. You can drop the 3-pin and aim for a pawn, but there's no actual pawn left because that was the last discard on the right. So yeah, just safest tile, and we go to Ryukyoku Jerry picking up 3,000 points for that, which is honestly totally fine. That's about the same as the value of the hand would have been, barring an Uda flip. So go to our all last dealership.
And if you missed the stream earlier, we're implementing a new WRC rule today that players are allowed to reach even if they don't have a draw themselves left in the hand, as long as there is a draw left in the hand, in the wall.
Can do some spicy shenanigans, hoping for Ippatsu at the very end of the wall.
Yeah, especially if somebody else has reached, and it can be a great move.
So you're the East player and the South player has Riichi. No calls have been made. You get to Tempai, slam the Riichi with 1 draw remaining, and you win on Hote and Ippatsu. Last discard, unbroken.
The dream. I don't think I've ever done that before.
I have seen players hold their Tempai until the last possible moment so that they can win on, Haite Tsumo and Ippatsu at the same time in order to get the value they need.
Yeah, Haite Tsumo, but being allowed to reach without any draws left is still a relatively new rule for most of the pro organizations, so I actually haven't seen anyone reach and win on Ippatsu and Hote at the same time yet.
Some extra opportunities for bigger value, but, well, there's some big value potentially brewing in Brian's hand. Pair of Dora and relatively strong shapes. Even if, though the most scary thing is if you reach and the dealer chases you with the value that can be punishing. Like this, 3-4-5 Sanchoku brewing. Maybe you can slide that to Tanyao in 2-3-4. And on the right, that's Ishanten as well.
Eat.
And
I
there
think
goes
we're gonna
Tempai.
have to be
Is a
happy with the
Tempai.
3-4-5 potential.
Let's go 3-mon. Quincy, a huge opportunity here. There's only one 3-mon left in the wall, but 6-mon will also win. Riichi Pinfu, at least. And Brian's hand wants to play. Does Brian want to play, though? Didn't
Yeah,
play out
Brian doesn't need to risk dealing in, but he also does not want Quincy to continue as dealer. Every time Quincy continues as dealer, that makes Brian's win in the last game just a little bit harder.
And Brian's taking the challenge here. 9-mon, 7-mon. This is perhaps saying, I've got the door, you don't. So not that many safe tiles with which to fold with. I mean, now he has some pin tiles. Oh, there's the deal on top, but that's Tempai, and he'll challenge. 2-5 pin as Jerry as well slammed Riichi on 5-8 so. He Peiko chest as well, but the 6 comes out! And that's going to be the win for Quincy.
Every single player was Tempai there.
This is exactly what I expected to see. Everyone hits Tempai at around the same time, takes the fight, and that's a huge win for Quincy. Picks up all those Riichi sticks as well, up to 30,000 points. Now, Brian's still a healthy lead here, but that's basically 2 placements. So if in the next game, if the game ends this way, I guess there's still more to go, but if Quincy finishes 2 placements over Brian in the second game, could overtake. No Dora bombs in this hand. I only see
none.
Yeah, just Riichi only. Double south for Jerry on the right, potentially. Is fighting for 3rd place good enough here? Or do we want to try to hit a Mongon?
I would definitely be going for, I don't know. I think you gotta just go with what you got. Usually you want to go for a Mongon, but how are you gonna make a Mongon with Jerry's hand? Double south.
Go vertical?
Point. Toy toy?
Triplets, yeah.
Vertical toy toy.
Sulanko?
Yeah, Sulanko would definitely be more than Mongon.
Unfortunately, all the 3s are held by other players. 3-pin and 3-mon.
Yeah, I think Hoitsu might actually be faster.
It might
Or a
actually.
little easier, yeah.
We'll
But
keep the 9-pin
he will
down.
not. Yeah. Probably go for a reach and hoping for a double south, which would be at least 5,200, possibly 6,400. And depending on the Uradora, even more.
That's a great build for Quincy, although we cut the 3-pin already, so a little bit of backfire perhaps, but playing for it anyway. Across the table. It's Super Tanyao time for Brian.
And Brian just needs to try and get the hand over with.
Xiyuan is looking pretty strong on the left already, Ishanten. I want to find a way to get Itsu there. The problem is we'll be Tempai before we find the Itsu. Straight.
Yeah, maybe not if you can... Oh yeah, with the 6 or the 9 both make Tempai. But not anymore. Okay, now it does again.
But
that will definitely be worth it. You don't need the Itsu.
Oh, Brian shutting it down with the Tanya. Got there just in time. And notably, the Honba not enough to drop Xiyuan below Jerry. So 3rd place retained by a mere 600 points. The big winner of this game is going to be Brian. 39.3. And that is going to end up being, well, 3 placements, I guess, with the bonus, with the Uma. Quincy has his work put up, set up for him in the next game, as well as all of the other players. It's going to be even a larger challenge.
Yeah, and when we were watching the Euro finals earlier today, the top 8, it was 2 players from each table moved on. So there were a lot of calculations going on, but now, I mean, people are going to have to be going for Yakuma, and everybody's going to be trying to get points directly from Brian so that they can put him in the negative, because if Brian doesn't get a negative score, then nobody is overtaking him here.
Yeah, I can imagine players building an expensive flush hand, passing Rones, hoping that Brian discards it. They can target him directly. All right, game 1 in the books.
So it looks like we are going to be watching table 3 next. And over there, Max got first place. Hisashi in second place with plus 8.3. Garrett in third place minus 16.2. So it's actually very similar to the table that we just watched and similar scores. So we're going to be seeing similar calculations on table 2, which we were not watching. Kevin got first place with 26.9, and Wen-Chien unfortunately got minus 33.1. So he's going to be in the most difficult position out of all the players so far. And table 4 is not done yet, but we'll be watching table 3 as soon as it's ready. I think that they have probably started, but we will
wait to find out.
Nope. Has not started yet. Okay.
Very good. I recognize some of the players from table 3. Hisashi is actually from my area around Chicago, and I played against him in the World Riichi League Chicago edition in, let's see, what round was that? I think that was end of day 1, so game 4, and it was a crazy battle. He won the first 3 hands with a Sozu Ipeko. It was a different Ipeko every time, but he won the first 3 hands. So, king
I mean,
of
sometimes when you like
sequences.
when you like a Yaku, it comes to you. I mean, you see it more often than other people. So
I see somebody in the chat who was with me at that table. Yes, Mr. Ipeko. It was fantastic. Also, I learned a very important lesson. When a Yakuhai is Dora and Hisashi is dealer, don't drop it. I dropped it. He pawns, and it is just fold city from there. He just always has it. Doesn't matter how early.
Been for 40 years, he says. So lots of experience there. And I mean, when you've been playing that long, then there's things that you can read, and there's things that you there's strategies that you know intuitively that maybe you can't explain, but you just know from experience.
I was joking to him that he was the Ipeko king, and he said, well, it was Toitsuba, so it was gonna be Ipeko." He had one of those hands, Dama Ipeko with a Shaba weight. So 5 pairs in hand. Could have had the switch to Chitoi. Should have paired up that last tile.
All right, it looks like table 3 has started, so we'll have about 5 minutes before we will be commentating on that. But I will be taking a break, and Harrison is going to step in for the commentary there with Nathaniel.
Wow!
Bren, what's up?
Whoa!
What's up?
Oh, so good. Totally have not been panicking and fixing technical difficulties all day in the cabinet, little broadcaster cabinet. It's gone literally perfect. If you saw a mistake, it definitely wasn't. Absolutely not on me, too. Just exciting Riichi. Surprise, surprise. Brian's really good. Who would have thought,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah,
that the resident... Is Brian 9-dan still? Or is he
there have been
8-dan?
2 9-dans in
Yeah.
US history. Brian was the first.
And
At least
then...
to my
Yeah, I
knowledge.
think
If there's
he
another
said
US
that
9-dan out there, let me know.
I feel like
he
there was
said that he
a
made 9-dan twice, so I think he did
third,
drop down
or
once
maybe,
and came
yeah.
back.
And then Lucas also just hit 9-dan, correct?
Yeah, Lucas, I believe, doing the commentary in the co-stream, the B stream on the American Riichi Mahjong League Twitch.
Oh yeah, there's a question for table 4. On this stream, we're covering table 1 and table 3, and so I'm not sure exactly which tables Armo stream is covering, but there's a link in the description if you'd like to hop over and check if they're doing table 4 at all.
Yeah, for those
They
of you
might
who are,
only be doing table 2, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
if you're interested, Emily is currently leading in South 4, 42,400 points, and Aaron is just behind with 39,100.
Oof,
You'll
very,
have the
very tight
results, and you'll
game.
be able to see, the winner from table 4 in the finals. The first place player on each table is going to come to the finals and meet us there. So with that, I will go ahead and take a break.
Yep, I hear you're
So you
coming
guys
back
can-
later. So for all those
I'll be
Jen
back
fans,
later.
she'll be back. Don't go nowhere.
There might
She's
be
coming.
2 in this chat, I think. Probably 2.
two,
2
two degenerates, as you'd say.
Ooh.
Yep, degenerates with a J. All right. Good luck, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Thank
so
you. Thank
much.
you. Rest up well, because let me tell you, we are not going to get a Riichi break anytime soon. It is nothing but exciting Riichi for the entirety of today, I would think, especially with a WRCC on the line. High tensions, high level of play. This is it. This is, this is like A1 scraps for the end of the season, trying to live and trying to take home number 1. Except even further, I would think. This is, I think this the last WRCC that's being given out before the tournament?
I'm not 100% sure. I know there's recently a WRC tournament that was held in Japan that awarded a seat.
Okay.
And I imagine there might be a few more yet to be
Last
determined,
chance. But this is one of them. This is, especially, I think, for the US player base as a whole.
Yes.
This is it. This is all you got. So these 16 players are coming in, and this is it. It's make or break.
And in terms of the game that we're about to see, we will be starting that shortly.
Yep.
But the players are a healthy mix of players from mostly New York. There are 2 players from that qualified through the New York tournament. And Sheng-Hao both qualified through the New York tournament. Hisashi, as mentioned before, Chicago, and Garrett from the West Coast tournament in San Francisco.
Yes.
You see him a lot on the PML streams.
I'll try not to be biased here. Max, first dealership. Also, one of my boys, DC Club native, killing it right now. But whole game to play.
Yeah, what do you make of this pie? What do you want to do here?
I mean, so Max, again, insider knowledge. I've played him quite a bit, interacted with him quite a bit, naturally being from the same club. Very big on efficiency and also much more defensive obligated. Max is the type of player who is not afraid to fold out as dealer, not afraid to drop value. So I would imagine Max is going to play this nice, slow. While me, I would be aggressive and think maybe I want to pull in the Southwest. Maybe I want to go into a Honitsu, greed the Stora. Max is going to play max efficiency. I'd imagine on a 5-pin, maybe even the 8-pin draw. Probably not the 8-pin, but yeah. Just going to root stuff out, take time, not try to take risk, especially in this first place position.
Yeah, that's really interesting you note that. I wonder if his playstyle changed at all in game 1, or if his slow, not slow, but efficient and
efficient
play
passive,
style.
yeah, efficient Menzen, opting towards defense, I would say.
Yeah, I wonder if that helped him build bigger hands that gave him that big lead coming into this game.
Yeah, I was not able to catch it, but it would not surprise me. The problem is Max is going to face some adversity with everybody else's hands. Everybody hovering around a good Tanyao Ishanten. Max is the only player with Dora, but I mean, Garrett across looks Ishanten. Shang is not Ishanten yet, but again, huge hand building. Now has an off Ipeco draw. Even has quick, well, I guess quick tune's dead, but ton of options. Can drop Chun safe later. Is definitely going to be able to fight a Riichi. And then even on the left, like Hisashi might be able to build a 4-5-6 Sanshoku out of this and do something crazy. We also see Max go for a Shanta. Look at that.
I like the vision because we still get the 2-pin acceptance. I know it's 3 out, of course, but it's always good to have one bonus tile that you can open up for. And when you have a pair of non-value wins, 2 pairs at that, a lot of times you're either playing a flush, a Chitoi, or opening up for some type of Chanto. Otherwise, you're just not playing the hand, right? You might as well throw those back.
And especially as dealer, I think Max recognizes that we got to be a little bit more aggressive. We have to make sure that we're fighting. You know, now's the time that we got to do it. That it is going to be Ishanten. Although a bit of an ugly one for Shang. We have those 2 tunes that are both out. And 7-pin, not the best way. 2-mon will help clean it up. Now might be the time. Yep.
Oh, I was thinking maybe 7-mon and think about pairs, but actually
that's a good point.
Playing away from the red dragons, as that's been cut once already. I'm amazed Garrett hasn't across the table. Look at his hand. It's going to be Sanshoku one way or another. He just needs a connector.
Oh, and Shang, not Dora, 7P. Could deal in here. The question is, what does Shang want to play? Could drop 9, so, and hedge. All of a sudden, 3 7s locked in. Another pair drawn for Garrett. Can't fix up the latter part of the shape. Trying so hard. Just cannot draw around it.
If it was a 4-pin, a 4-mon, anything would be fine. Not the 4-so.
Fishing.
Another pair. Back to Ishanten if you want it.
It is going to drop the 8s. Yeah, it doesn't read that upper Sozu. I think scared of the Chanta has the correct read. Doesn't like getting rid of the 7s. Likes the Chi options to build a hand.
Chi.
Oh, there's the Chi option, and that's a Tempai. It's 50-10.
But is able to collect the K10 points. Is going to be able to match, keep Tempai, stay even with the table. There is still a chance to draw 6-mon too. There's still 2 left in the wall. We might even throw 8-mon here if we think it's safe, which we can see it as.
Not 50-10 anymore. All the 9-mons are discarded, so the 8 should be pretty safe against a Chanta play.
Yeah. And it is Genbutsu with the dealer, so you know you're at least getting that. Oh, but 4-pin gets Tempai across! It's not going to be Sanshoku, but the 1K to clean up.
Had to open up the hand. It was just not getting there closed. That gorgeous Riichi Pinku Tanyao Sanshoku Ipeco, not meant to be. And instead, it's just 1,000 points, but that's better than not being Tempai, so.
Yeah. And again, shuts down Max's dealership, so that's 1 less. Especially when Max is in the lead right now at plus 38.7. Like, that is a big deal to make sure he's not just getting more and more points, continuing to build a gap that players are going to have to keep shrinking between themselves and Max.
Yeah, to answer your question, Derek, there are no starting points. The points that players earned in the qualification process are wiped away at the start of this tournament. So it is just fresh scores, zeros across the board for game 1, and then whatever score they earned in their first game will be carried over into the second game. Top player advances only. So everyone targeting Max here at 38.7. Hisashi the closest. And of course, that is Hisashi across the table from our current perspective. Right now, our dealer, Sheng-Hao, struggling a little bit with these tiles. A lot of weak shapes. My Itsu goggles are on, though.
Yeah, it would be nice. You draw 2-mon, you get one of those last 8-mons. Maybe you can play it, but I mean, Sheng-Hao might even just decide to drop the 1-mon pair, maybe even the 3-so, hope to fish around it and get rid of that 2-1 penchant, that 2-1
That
dot shape in the lower part.
we'll see if we just start with a 5-pin or no. 7-9 mon is interesting.
Okay.
Valuing the pin tiles.
Yeah, maybe opting to play safety. Also trying to stall out Garrett, maybe trying to read a Pinzu Honitsu or something. Although a 6-7 out won't be there.
It appears to be some type of toy triplets hand. A lot of central tiles though to call. We'll see if Garrett pulls those in.
Yeah, needs 2 out of 3 of the 6-mon, 4-pin, and 7-so. Definitely not the best. Although looking at the board, I was gonna say may find it loose. Problem is across. Hisashi draws around that floating 7-so. So now all of a sudden, that 7 that was about to come out seems a lot more situated in that hand.
It feels like Hisashi is probably dreaming big as well with a couple Onko in hand. 2-mon triplet, 6-pin triplet.
6-pin Dora too, so a huge value. Is probably going to try to optimize the hand to be able to call Tanyao. Simples open.
9-mon comes out, 7-mon perhaps to fall. We'll see if a 6 comes into hand or not. Oh, there's a triplet.
Oh, we encoed up. 7-so 6-mon. Weight's bad, but all it takes is one of each left in the wall.
And if you draw it yourself, you get an additional San Anko Yaku.
Friction on the board, though. Riichi, 3-6-mon. Oh, and he puts him on the last 6. Riichi,
oh my goodness, looks at that. My weight. My beautiful weight. And instead it's Max taking the 4 and 20. 1,300, 2,600. Max extends the lead. This is not what the other players wanted to see here.
Yeah, definitely not the best case scenario for a lot of these players at the table. For Max, loving that. Perfect end solution. But now, again, every time that gap grows, every time nobody threatens it, Max gets more and more options, more and more safety and wiggle room in order to try and maintain this lead. That being said, Garrett's going to give him a run for his money, going to try to extend this dealership, get a repeat, calling the quick Green Dragon open. And maybe even getting towards a toy or adding some more value. We got 4 pairs in the hand. It's not the most efficient, but when a 7-mon comes out, you're going to take it. It's even going to fake the Manzu Honitsu to try to draw out this 4-1-so later in the hand.
This is a huge opportunity for Garrett. Not only is this hand worth a decent amount of points, but also you want to run up your dealerships. That's the one way you're going to catch up to a big lead like this, is to just win a lot on your dealership. See if you can pull through here. Tashi Ishanten, one away from Tenpai with 3-4-5 Sanchoku in sight. Spot where if you draw the wrong Tenpai, you might not even take the Riichi. Just to go for more points.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the right side.
Yeah, we'll take that. Here. Oh, and is going to take the higher win rate. Maybe also reading 2 pins loose in hands. Which, I mean, Sheng can't play it. Garrett and dealership can't play it.
Yeah, a little surprised to see this, but there are 2 pins in the wall. Perhaps this is a read on which one's going to come sooner. 3-pin out for a Max. Maybe 2-pin to follow. It is Xuzhi to the Riichi tile, so a little bit dangerous.
Although 3-4 is
Garrett dropped that. 2-pin is looking safer, but that would have also been the Tsumo even if before it come out.
Ooh, a lot of value there. Can we win it though?
Oh, the 2. Surely that will come out as well, and that will shut down the dealerships. Just a Riichi only, but 1 Ura.
Taking an Ura on top. Oh my god, that would have been Hanemon on Sumo, I think.
Yes.
Riichi Sanshoku Sumo Dora Ura, yeah.
No Dora, just the Ura, so.
Oh, okay.
Only Mangan, but a miss on points there, perhaps. We'll see if he can make up for it with a huge dealer hand. Looks like West door is not going to be used so easily here, but Ipeco chance. And enough pairs that we could even think about pairs as a value option.
Yeah, we'll see how the hands develop. I mean, everyone right now is pretty slow. Everybody needs a lot of key draws to build in. Everyone's got a lot of clutter.
Max on the right has no under tiles, no terminals either, so very much in Tanya range. However, shapes are not that good. Is this the spot where you open, and is this the spot where Max opens?
Personally, me, I would say probably just because getting everybody to have one less dealership, especially Hisashi in second, is huge here. It is so massive to boot Hisashi out. That being said, when this comes down, I am not. I am out. I am not playing the hand.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out
how do you
safest
get
tile.
out here?
2-pin. I would think 2-pin there with 2 3s to
Tries
protect
half
it.
Xuzhi 6-0.
Yeah.
Tumon here, the dealing tile. Riichi Ipeco. It's another So Ipeco.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to seeing him with this twin sequences in the Sozu.
Max finds the 2-pin.
That's also interesting, just strategically speaking. Oh, let me put that thought on hold. Door 3 on the left.
Oh, yep. We drew them all. Garrett definitely did not even have a pair, but found them all. That being said, Garrett, not the best fighting hand, cannot open up unless it's via a toy or something. West is not going to be the Yakuhai wind.
It feels like with door 3 in your hand, it's a huge opportunity that you don't want to let go by the wayside.
Yeah. But I mean, when the hand's this far out, the question is, can you get there safely too?
6-pin. Yeah. Garrett's making a play for it. Ishantan went away.
Yeah, and wait, not the best. We're probably looking at 8-mon 3-pin, but we'll see what we can get. We lost a little bit of efficiency on that 3, but we still got that 7-mon.
I wonder if players will notice that late 3-so. If the player's discarding 6-pin before 3-so, they probably have tiles around that 3-so.
Yeah.
It's not unlikely to be a 2-so or a 1-so pair.
Max on the right.
2 pins and 5 pins are coming out, so the 3-3-4 shape not super strong unless you can build vertically. Or maybe pairs is your route, although you'd have to drop a door for that.
Yeah, but I mean, you have 3 of them. I mean, it would have to be Hisashi drawing the last Dora and going Tonki on it, just waiting for that pair of it. The odds are low. It is definitely a bravery push, though. Speaking of, there's still 2 2-mons left in the wall. There's still 2 winning tiles that have not come out yet. So Hisashi may be able to draw a little bit. Oh, and that West may have opened up an avenue. All of a sudden, Garrett, another breath of life, can switch to a Chitoi here.
Oh, it certainly would. Oh. Opportunity cannot jam the 8, so not that many Xuzhi. All the pin tiles have cleared at this point.
Didn't
a large number of So tiles, except for the 2-5-8 Xuzhi, I believe. Although the 2-so is relatively safe here with the number of 3-so discarded. And
but just wants the Dora Anko, doesn't want to risk something later. Oh, and missed the tempo. I would have had to push 5 or 6-mon. 6-mon Nakatsuji, I believe. Nope, not quite, but close.
One more central mon tile for Tempai.
Can we draw back?
And Riichi as well. And it is! Will we see Riichi?
Does he see the West out?
He certainly knows about the West. Does he want to reach his decision? He
will!
will!
And we will on the 5! There's
one
5 left.
No Ipatsu, no Hote, but
no draw left. Said we'll fight it. We'll see what happens.
I think
2 2-mons buried.
Yeah, if the Riichi player was on the left of Garrett without a draw, he probably would have just stuck with the Dama. But when you have
someone get a full push,
right?
So good. And 2 tiles just dead in the wall. That was Garrett on the left. Excuse me, Hisashi in front of us, and Hisashi just 2 tiles buried in the wall. Unfortunate. Sometimes you mix those odds. That being said, not, Max or Sheng draws that 2-mon. I cannot imagine it's ever coming out. So probably wasn't winning just with the way the wall was, but.
And all things said and done, Max still with the lead here, but it's very close. And Hisashi a chance to overtake 2 Riichi sticks as well to collect in the next hand.
Yeah, with scores this close, I mean, especially if Max just happens to take one bad hit, one bad sumo on his Oya, could get dropped to a third or a fourth. Even that Uma to help people push past him is going to be huge for the table. That in and of itself, something to fight for. It looks like Garrett's going to be the contender for this hand. Already Ren-Chien, but a lot
It is
of hand
technically
value.
Ishanten, but if you're going for Itsu, then
on
it's
green, yeah.
Ren-Chien. And he's hedging the Itsu. He's giving it a thought. Oh, the Dora came out first turn and gets paired up.
I was going to see if they can draw back around it. Could be disastrous later. That's the type of tile you're not going to want to push against the reach, especially if you get Tempai on a Tonki. It's going to get sticky. Six pin coming out.
Given time for Sashi to build his hand. 6-pin, great pull. Just needs one more block to come to completion here before he has a... I wonder if he calls here. Like, typically, Hisashi plays very closed.
But with 2,300 on the board and, you know, shapes running out and it's getting later into the hand, your dealer, the hand shape's solid. I'd probably do it. Oh my goodness, draws back into the 8.
Garrett with the vision.
Okay, we knew.
Okay, this was the secret.
Took it as
this
a
was
sign.
The super strat from Garrett. Drop the 8-so first before Hisashi can call. That way, when you draw the third 8-so, it's in your hand instead of being called.
Don't gotta take that ugly Tonki. We'll take the ugly penchant anyway. We're gonna see a Chi fight. 2-so comes out safe. 4-so will be 2. Could pair 6-7s. We're looking for 3-pin right now. Still 3 in the wall.
So live. Still some chance for dealer, but the important thing is those 3 Riichi sticks in the middle.
Yep. Oh, and the sumo! Riichi sumo, Chun, Dora 2, Ura flips Hane.
Misses,
but still a lot of value. Garrett rising up. And again, that Oya hit to Hisashi. It matters.
We go into the South rounds. Now, one dealership remains for everyone. Max, the player who doesn't need to repeat as dealer, but you'd love to win something. Make your buffer a little bit larger.
Yep.
Keep in mind, Garrett was at negative 16.2 and Max 38.7 above. So that's a gap of 54.9 that needs to be overcome. Think like it might be hard to get Max down to last, but if Garrett gets a first and Max say a third, that's 2 placements already. So Garrett would have to be around 30,000 points above, a little bit more than 30,000. So
which if you have a good first and Max is getting third, that's going to be around what the gap is. If you can get to like 45K and Max takes goes down to the 20, you're in range on all last. I mean, again, options. That's the name of the game.
Max not going to sit by idly. We'll open up with the South immediately. Ishanten already with the Dora.
Yep, fast, aggressive dealer points plus EV. Again, opting towards defense, but is not afraid to call when it warrants it. Tempai now 5-8, so a lot of them are held up. Garrett's going to lock in that 8-2 most likely. Well, the question is, Hisashi, it's floating. We're not quite there.
It's almost out. It's halfway out of the hand. We'll see. He needs to connect to it soon and cut the 1-mon. Might even play for Tanya for the extra value.
The 3-mon, this might do it. Yeah, Hisashi's going to throw it out. It's too efficient. Can't get rid of that by the Dora. Deals in the 2,900 from Max.
Max opens up to this high pie. Another
gorgeous
that can call the South.
Oh, and discards the Dora immediately. Again, there's that efficiency. Me, even as dealer, I would probably greed that a little bit. Maybe drop 2-mon, maybe 6-mon, but Max goes north sufficient. I just want to get it out. I'm totally fine with taking a Homba. If I get it close, we'll be there. But the cheat toy Ishanten with Dora 2. Even good call out routes. The Tempai, if we would have kept the 7. That's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what? Most important thing for Max here is not that he doesn't have Dora 2. It's that
somebody else
has Dora 2.
Yes. Yeah. Even just cheapening the board, Max has a ton of information to go off of. This should be 2-mon 2. You have Ipeko Tanya draws. You can drop South later. You still have the aggressive call route. We are going to see that from Max. Notably across the table, Garrett has that
Home.
Haku pair is going to snap call it too. No sticks in the middle, but again, we need to get Max off dealer. Every hand Max gets here is more gap to make up later. And Max can just play passive and hope nobody can make the difference.
Yeah, notably, I feel like most players want to play Menten here, want to slam a Riichi for value, but
or even try to Dama-snipe Max if they can have it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Max is the dealer here is pretty relevant. We definitely don't want him to repeat if you're one of the other players at the table. Strong Ishanten from Garrett, though. Max passing the first south.
Yep. Again, has Tanya routes, has some much more valuable areas. The souths will be fine later. To fold on, most likely. And is this 2-pin going to come out? Yep, Sheng's going to drop it into Haku Nomi. Doesn't get the Fu upgrade. Garrett collects 13. Max is kicked off dealership. And now, endgame begins to begin. Mocha in the pilot seat. What are we going to get? Pretty gorgeous hand. We'll rely on the 3-so for it. Ishanten on a Riichi Dora. We hit the 3-so first. Add a Pinfu to it. Even on 7-so, have some switch changes. Some Tanya routes added in as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking to drop away from this 1-2-so at our earliest convenience.
Well, the problem is
3-so first.
Garrett saying, let me put a bit of a second thought in everybody's mind. South called double Yaku high. We got 2 Han locked loaded. We can see a Dora left in the hand too. Ishanten, good bit of value, but the 5-mon going to be a struggle tile. That being said, reach across from Hisashi. We're on tune 4-so. One tune out. We're fighting back. Sheng on that 3-so.
Yeah, no time to switch to something better. Just has to take what he's given. And now Max Ishanten as well with such. Oh, what
bad day to be Aider. Oh, and the
4,000 all.
Riichi Dora at Ipatsumo +2. That Mongun is huge.
Notably, importantly, Garrett doesn't even mind this because that drops Max down to 3rd.
It's a big deal. Garrett's still got a dealership too. That's the other big difference. Garrett is totally fine with letting Sheng get a little bit of points. He's got a gap on Sheng. So especially if they can get Max below Hisashi, then again, this game is flipped on its head. And it is going to come down to who can do the calcs, who can do them right in this high pressure situation. Am I coming out? This is going to look like a scrappy hand. Sheng in the pilot seat. A lot of options here. We're going to throw the 8-pin. We're going to hedge Chi Toy. We're going to hedge a normal hand. Not going to call the first
I think we pass. Yeah. The value here is with Riichi. 7-pin. I almost like that as a Chi Toy trap. Just cutting the
4-pin. Yeah.
We have Sanchoku Dreams. So
on the 4, 5, 6. Yep. Another good value out. I would take Tenpai. Could Nakasuji trap with the 5-mon? Oh no.
This is just as good.
Oh no. I always talk about Nakasuji. Max has Genbutsu. Oh, no.
you trained Max into cutting here. 9-so 9-so first. So there's outs.
Okay, yeah. Max has a lot of defense, can play very far back here. A lot of breathing room. It depends who else wants to fight too.
Pin.
Problem is 4-pin's good in everybody's hand right now. 4-pin's great. Yep, like that's getting played by Garrett.
No one really with a Dora that's usable because all the 8-pin are visible to the players. So if you're using the Dora, it's in a pair or a triplet.
Oh, and Max remembers that pause. I think there was a slight pause on the Haku. Doesn't want to drop it immediately. Maybe even just doesn't like the less safety of the Haku. Might come out now. Is going to.
It's actually Ishanten here. Could challenge. I don't know if he wants to challenge, but
on the 5-pin, 4-1, not the worst weight.
Come on, still safe. 4-pin has 0 tiles in the wall.
Okay. I mean, the question is Garrett going to play it? Looking to make a try right now.
Garrett could also be a player to drop it out.
Oh, and this could work great. Max is going to drop the 1 pin. Could be making a K10 play here.
I might just draw into Tempai and slam. 3 months still safe.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the Shompai South. That's definitely got to be worrying Max. We can see Hisashi has a pair, but the 4th one, nowhere to be found. 7 pin might come out here too. Yep.
This enables 3-so, 2-so as draws. East. Safe.
There's that
And
last
the
South.
appears as well.
All of a sudden we have a live. Uh-oh. Cut to make. We're going to drop Hatsu.
And it's
This is
Tempai.
Tempai. 2-5. Will Dama. Trying to snipe something. Nothing safe. Extra 2-so. Oh, and the 5! Missed the Epot Sumo, but that is a huge hand. Shuts down Shang's dealership.
The restraint by Garrett to not drop the 4-pin Nakasuji. Not get trapped there. Max as well, hanging on, finding his way to a Tempai.
And takes that win. And again, that's huge. Max was able to buy some extra points to play with going into the second game, and it is paying off in spades. That being said, Max still in 3rd place.
For Sheng, if I was in that spot, I would be thinking, how were they Tempai? They dropped nothing but Genbutsu. There was no Suji. There was no, once cut honor. That was just straight Genbutsu, and they found Tempai. I lost my dealership. That means that the biggest chance goes now to Garrett. Overtake Max for first. Can he repeat?
This hand's not the worst to do it. We have that South pair. Still looks like 2 in the wall. Problem is the rest of the hand shape not the fastest. Another couple Monzu draws, though. We might cut 4-pin, then 1-so. Probably not anymore. Did have a Honitsu out, but yeah, now we just want to play efficiency. Maybe draw around like a 4-5-6 or 5-6-7 Sanshoku type thing. Probably 4-5-6. That'll be our best value.
On the right, Hisashi aiming for 5-6-7 Sanshoku for the value. Pinku to boot. Across the table, Max holding all the pin tiles.
Yep.
Easy shuntime.
On a Chitoy. Did not play that 9-pin earlier.
Oh, Peiko, but does get the Chitoy Tempai.
I'd imagine we'll probably throw form on if we're reading the board right, which we are. Now the question Max is going to have is, are we going to reach on anything? Which we might just Dama all routes to keep Max safety. But there are situations where Riichi can fish a tile out for a win rather than, having it be safe.
I love how useful his name is. He plays max efficiency, max safety.
Yep.
It's like the game is named after him.
Boom.
Shanten for Hisashi. There's the South, though. Garrett opens up for Tempai. 5-so wait. Can upgrade to 5-8-so upon drawing the 7. So.
Are we going to drop the 6-mon? There's still 3 5s in the wall. We are going to switch to the 6-mon too. We're not 100% confident. Just as the 3-pin gets shoved.
Forgot about 3-pin good tile.
North.
I think the more important thing is that he just has to be a little bit careful about dealing into the dealer here.
Yeah. And isn't going to take it, although I was going to say that North, that's a good one.
Dora?
Oh, it doesn't want to risk the Dora against dealer. I mean, we can see 3 8s. It's not the worst odds. We also see 2 Dora, so it's low deal-in %. But if it does, it's scary.
It's 12,000, yeah.
North comes out, and yep, Max is going to be out. We are going to see a full push from Garrett.
Hisashi did not get the Sanchoku.
Still 3 5-sos in the wall.
It's kind of crazy. Good chance for Tsumo that. Oh,
6-O's Genbutsu, but it's Fuji or it's Furiten.
Had the opportunity to switch back to the 3-so, but
Tsumo.
Right.
All right, we'll find the 5.
Things are okay. Things are fine for Garrett.
Now, very importantly in the metagame here, Garrett gets a little bit higher, but also that is going to be a mental hit to Max there. Max just watched 3 wins go away completely. And if he would have just been a little bit braver, pushed another tile that looked a little bit worse, then would have won that and would be going into an amazing situation into all last. And now Garrett has another strong dealer hand and is going to put on the pressure for the rest of the table.
Still, though, Garrett in a tough spot needs to continue to repeat. Max still well in control here. Garrett has a fantastic hand, though. Will this shift all the way to the flush? It's not that hard to drop a pair and find a pair somewhere else.
Yep.
And in terms of the value proposition, it's incredibly strong.
Mangan, if you can hit the south and the Hatsu, although with that 667, feels like an indicator that we just want the efficiency. Try to hit a Riichi, maybe.
It will probably make the switch upon drawing 8-so or 9-so, but until then, just playing efficiently.
On the right, Hisashi trying to make something work this hand. Has a whole dealership to run stuff up. We're Ishanten on a Riichi Pinfu right now. Is able to work in a Dora, but we're not quite there.
Max also callable for Itsu.
Yeah.
Another big chance for him to shut down this dealership.
Would need the 8-pin, though, for it, I'd imagine.
8-pins are live. If he can also call the 1-mon or 4-mon ahead of time, he certainly would. He set up this weight, but players aren't really looking at his hands. Oh, there's a Riichi.
1-so, 5-so scary. We have the Haku first. Pair drawn. Deal in avoided. Garrett thinking about the 6-6 play. Are we going to go Honitsu?
Shapes, but yeah, that's the play for value.
Max denies Tempai, plays the 1-mon safe. Needs to find the pair. Can also play a 9-pin if we can get it safe on the board. Floating 8-pin.
Uh-oh.
Garrett draws it. 5-pin, not going to be the tile that saves us. What are we playing? Genbutsu 4-pin. 3-pin, a little bit safer. Max can get out here on the 2-pin drop. 2-pin, 1-pin might be the one to do it. And it is going to fold completely. Max is out, and the Tempai gets drawn for Honitsu. Itsu deals in. Riichi, Tanyo, Pinfu, and the Ura for Mangan. This is disaster for Garrett. And now Max going into all last has such a beautiful, beautiful spot. Can let Hisashi get one hand maybe and still be fine. Or just one quick K can end it all here. But oh my goodness, what a hand from Hisashi.
Yeah, now this is really important, the standings. Because without a dealership, this being the last round, Garrett he only has one chance, right?
It's got a Yakuman fish, I think.
Be Yakuman, right?
Yeah.
And same for Sheng-Hao across the table. They are not their conditions are very restricted, which means that allows freedom for Hisashi to come back.
Actually, I believe if Garrett Hanemans directly on Max, he passes.
Yeah, that would be 24,000 points plus 3 placements.
Yeah.
So that's very close to just working outright.
But you have to get Max, who
short by a couple hundred points.
Is an iron fortress of defense right here and fully willing to back away. You have to get him to deal into Haneman direct. Not an easy task whatsoever.
I think even Haneman direct is short.
Yeah. And that's just it. If you have to do the math exact, so you got to know immediately whether Haneman direct is going to do it.
And the players will have done the math in between games, but it doesn't matter. There's a dealer Riichi.
6-9 pin.
Pinfu, Dora, great weight. And if Max runs out of safe tiles, might just try 9-pin, 9-pin, 9-pin because there's 3 of them. But he's also just Ishanten himself. Dealing directly to Hisashi here would be a dramatic change.
That would flip everything. We saw so many safe tiles, though.
Oh, it's so wide. But there's 2 safe tiles, 3-so and 6-mon.
May try the 6-mon. Bonzu's looking very cheap. May be able to find the 5 after. Play the 7-8.
Ooh, he's risking danger. 9-pin danger.
The 8-pin can get bailed out. We have 3, 4, 6, and 7-so, especially on 7-so. 3-so can do it, but we'll throw the 9. That's Riichi Pinfu Dora to dealer.
That would be huge here. Misses. Hisashi misses the Ura.
But Max
And
in
so-
last. All of a sudden, things are on their head.
Yeah, that puts Sheng-Hao in first technically.
Mm-hmm.
And the math there is rather large, 68, 69.5. So still needs to have a huge gap, even with 3 placements. Needs to be over a Yakuman ahead. So something like Yakuman Sumo.
Yeah.
And outside of that, though, dealer, again, the best chance. He has the closest position. 3 placements is good enough. He just needs to finish first.
Mm-hmm. And notably, it should be mentioned that dealer winning in first does not end the game. Dealer must pass dealership naturally, meaning that Hisashi could win 2 or 3 big hands and still have to go somewhere. And a Riichi comes out from Sheng. Is it a sign we're giving up, or is it a signal to the dealer saying, hey, I'll get Max to fold for you. Make sure you're Tempai. Give me another go.
Yeah, you could just have wins off and allow dealer to just aim for a Tempai. I mean, nothing to lose, right?
Yep. Max has to fold here. There's just no other. That has to be the play.
Actually,
At least I think.
Max can deal a certain amount of points into Sheng-Hao.
Yeah, but how much do you want to risk? There's also the little bug in the back of your ear. Why is Sheng reaching? Is this the value? Is it a bluff?
Right.
What's going on?
Something like Sadanko Dora, Tuanko Tonki, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Sadanko Dora 3, some type of, not Causeway, because we don't have Causeway in this league, but Sanbaimon.
Yeah. Sanbaimon Directs might be it. That would get close. Again, it's what is going to speak to you? What's the move? How brave can you be? How scary can it be? And that Haku now, too. I think that's going to lock Max out completely. Even with no other safety, Max is just unable to play the hand. Hisashi playing efficiency, trying to make sure that repeat happens.
You cannot stop Hisashi from playing the hand, even with the Riichi.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Is Garrett going to push the Dora? Is going to. It's going to pass. Hisashi can play 4-so, push 2-so here.
Also going to cut a pair and wait for the 3-so. The 3-so, which is onkoed up in Sheng-Hao's hand.
6-so coming out, and we still don't want to throw this 3. Oh no, Hisashi might not get Tempai because of this. We're still Ishanten. We need this 5-8 bond, but it's just not coming out.
There's one more 3-so, and there are a few 5-8s in the wall.
This is going to be Tempai for Garrett, but doesn't want it. Doesn't want to push the 5-8. It feels like to me players are scared of a run here. It feels like
shouldn't be able to be taken.
I don't think it'll be taken unless Shang's just trying to end the game, but and that's the last 3-so.
Remaining. Is this how it's going to end?
9P just got proven safe. Max may be able to get K10. Sumo immediately. And that's not going to be enough for Sheng, and I believe Max still has the advantage. 20-point shift. Garrett. Is that going to be enough? I don't think it is.
Not quite. A difference of 25 is not enough. 29, 26 even.
13 versus
short.
18. Hisashi, I believe, within 5, not able to get there. Barely short.
A confusing end to what was a dramatic game. But Max is going to close it out. Just barely. Things got so exciting when he had that beautiful Ishanten, drew into Tempai, slammed to 9-pin against the dealer, and it ended up creating this dramatic finish. Perhaps that was the best chance, though. There weren't that many defensive tiles for Max. and he had to just try to win the hand with a 3-sided weight. You feel like your odds are pretty good, but the 9-pin did deal in.
Or no,
and that created
it was oh yes, for the previous hand. My bad.
from the previous hand,
Yeah.
yes. And that created this dramatic all last scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But well, that will be the second game of table 3.
And everybody is done. That is it. Everybody finished up. That was the last game. Everybody else apparently just a speedy second round. And so after we transition here, we are going to have our final tables. Max is able to pull ahead by less than 5 points on Hisashi.
Actually, we have a special guest. We've called in Jerry, who did not advance, but we watched him in the first game play, so we wanted to just have a short chat about the gameplay. Hi.
Hello, Jerry. Hello.
Yeah, I was running AI analyze on my games. I didn't play very well, so I don't deserve to qualify, I guess.
Did you run it through the AI already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fast. I mean, we had that on your bio sheet, and we were talking about the AI analysis during the game as well. So it's really interesting to hear that, like, firsthand. But how did you feel stressed during the game, or like, why do you think that you didn't play well?
And actually, like, we are not given any break during like at the end of South 3 of Hanchang 2. So I was busy like coding my own Python to like get the overtake condition ready. Yeah, I mean during like the first cuts of the South 4, like I would just put it in points and see like what big do I need to hand. I mean I need a manga and sumo, which I can't get Hanuman because that overtakes the dealer to 4th, Brian to 3rd, but Brian confirmed confirmed 3rd place by sumoing himself. So yeah, congrats to Brian.
I mean, we had some rough deal-ins from the beginning. It was really the East round was really rough.
Yeah, the ASO was definitely a mistake. The whether or not I Riichi with Dora on Ipatsudo was very close. The balance model of Naga says Riichi, but the Kakashi model says fold with Naiso. So yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, that stood out to me as a really, really interesting and difficult decision. But I know my instincts, like my personal bias, at heart, I'm a folder, so I would have gone with a 9-so as well.
I see. Yeah. I mean, that
you tried 7-so, I believe, and then you mawashied your way back into an Ishanten that could use the Dora before dealing in. It was a really interesting hand and ended up being a really important one in the grand scheme of things, because it looks like you won the second game and had a chance even at the very end there to perhaps make it.
I wasn't that far away, but
and that's the thing with a small UMA, the comeback conditions are actually totally viable. We saw in this table 3 as well, a very exciting scenario where Hisashi could have overtaken Max. So did you I know you said you were madly computing. It's difficult when you've got a situation where a win that's big enough to take over a placement is too big because it causes dealer to take Oyakaburi or something along those lines and fall below the wrong person. And you said that was a situation. Have you had many chances to practice set play outside of this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, during my undergrad back in China, we played very competitively, like very serious format. Yeah, so
awesome to have the somewhat similar experience, at least this table extremely competitive, and hopefully you found the WRL event to also be competitive. I know when I played you, it certainly was a tough battle.
Thank you.
What did you think of the World Riichi League as an event overall? It was the first one ever, but
well,
like happening over 3 cities and then everybody meeting online.
Yeah, did you finally get your chance to play Brian in person?
Yeah, he was dominating the table. I managed to sneak up to second place, but yeah, I think well, it's a really good experience. I hope that in the future, maybe the format could be given to the players earlier so that they have more times to get familiar with that.
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
it
like
will be. There was definitely
Because
a new
I was
event.
watching the game 2 of the table 3. I got very confused by like why Shang, took a 4th place confirmed Riichi. I mean, isn't the Yakuman only for him? I feel like maybe
it did
it's
feel like
because
that.
the format wasn't given to him early enough. He wasn't familiar with that.
Yeah, I mean, it is each player's own responsibility to calculate their own conditions, but a lot of players don't have experience with that, so it would be a good also like kind of study session sort of subject as well, I think.
Yeah, the fantastic thing about a tournament like this is you get put into that, as Harrison likes to call it, the pressure cooker situations, right? And you
Yeah.
get to see how you handle that. And it's a very good experience. I know the first time that I ever sat at a final table was mind blowing. The first game, I couldn't even think properly. I just felt so much pressure. But having gone through that once before, I was able to calculate my score conditions a lot more comfortably in the tournaments that followed. So I'm very happy to have gone through that experience. And hopefully, for any of the players here who might be at their final table in a playoff situation for the first time, that this is a great learning experience for them as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how things will go in the final table as well. As we saw from table 1, Brian taking the spot, table 3, Max, and then from the other 2 tables, looks like Dennis made it, a comeback in game number 2, and Emily confirmed her first place. So, Jerry, I know you've played Brian. I don't know if you played any of these other 3, but do you have somebody you're rooting for in the final tables?
Well, Brian is the 9th dan, so yeah. My bet is
Easy
on Brian.
pick. It'll certainly be exciting.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. We really appreciate you stopping by to have a chat. It was great and fun watching you. And it's interesting to hear about the AI. I can't believe you did that so fast. You put it in so fast. So. All right, thank you.
Thanks,
okay,
Jerry.
I think we would take a short break while they get the final table situated. And I'll talk to the coordinator for a second.
Alrighty, we'll be right back, y'all. are back in this very extremely super crazy, unbelievably exciting WRL final. Our final table is as on screen. We have Brian W, Silver DF, as the winner of table 1. From table 2, Dennis, aka Taco, coming in. Table 3, we just saw the winner of Max MKDS, and table 4, Emily, in-game name Emily25, are going to be our 4 representatives, are going to be the makeup of this final table. And oh my goodness, what a game we're about to watch. What a game. I am so excited.
All of the games before were exciting. I popped into the Armel stream for a second, and it was exciting over there. Just non-stop action on all of our tables so far. And everybody's playing for first place in 2 rounds.
Yeah, everybody is gunning for it. Last chance. This is it. And everybody's playing for it, and everyone's going crazy for it.
In terms of representation, we have Brian from the Midwest, Indiana representation. Max and Dennis both.
Yes, DC reps. We got 2, baby, 2.
And then Emily from the West Coast, PML. I've met all of these players. They're all fantastic to play with. Fantastic people as well. And I couldn't be more excited about the chance of one of these players going to the WRC. Of course, Brian actually already in, so
yes.
One of the other 3 a chance to earn their own place.
Yeah, it's important to note though that even if Brian wins, the seat will not go to second place. So if they want this seat, and whoever wins, this will be the WRL representative at WRC. So Brian's seat will be reallocated, and his NAO seat will be reallocated by that sponsor, but it is irrelevant to this event. So every player needs to play for first place here.
Ooh, we also have some context provided by the spectators. A rematch of the final table from the New York CWRL where Dennis and Max played together in the last Hanchan.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
they took together first and second at this event. Max got first, Dennis got second. So definitely, and again, from the same club, they have played each other 1 million and some more times. It is going to be crazy, and they are going to have to measure up, especially against Emily and Brian at this table.
I know we got to talk about Brian and Max before their games started. Dennis actually popped into a voice chat, the American Riichi voice chat, the other night, and said he's a little nervous but excited, and looking forward to seeing how he does. Emily, I actually, even though she's a West Coast player, I first met her in Illinois. She used to be an Illinois player, and is extremely, extremely tough to play against. She's such a sweet person. Over the board, she will absolutely crush you. So we'll see if she can do the same in the final 2 games here.
I mean, again, if you're going to get top of the event and you're going to especially win first in that last very, very intense 2-game set that you played, you got to have the skills to back it up. And we're opening up. Dennis piloting. Still has the DC logo from the from the Roddle, the online league competition, repping up. Totally unbiased, I swear, guys. We have a Hatsu pair of the 2 pins, pair of the 8 pins. Looking to play something normal. Hatsu to speed it up. Brian on the right. Looking to play standard. Can take a Dora in across Emily. Great shape. Looking to be first to Tenpai Ishanten on a Riichi Pinfu. And on the left, Max. Much of the same. Ryanshanten, but great shapes. Has an Itsu route. Dora would be a little clunky, but right there with the rest of them.
This is exactly what you want to see. Everybody with a playable hand. Hopefully we have that exciting scenario of Tenpai and Ishanten happening all at the same time. Players making decisions about how to fight. Ooh, will we see Doratanki?
Oh, Dennis will Doratanki. I can tell you that with 1000% confidence. Unless maybe 6-pin is drawn. Maybe 8-pin too. Dennis is going to Doratanki. Or I guess 7-pin.
It's an interesting balance between the win rate of the multi-sided weight. Oh, Chi for Tenpai?
Chi, yeah, absolutely.
As you predicted, naturally.
Yep. Dennis is a very big value player. He is super comfortable and willing to just play max value to greed the higher amounts, and is very comfortable doing stuff like this, Doratanki, pushing, being aggressive, playing high value outs.
And that's sort of play style I feel works extremely well in a tournament like this where only first place is at stake. And all the door in the wall. He can draw his 2000 all.
Yep. And I mean, really, like, the only one who's going to have an easy time working it is Brian. Max is able to play it just like that, but we'll need a 3-mon. It's going to be a lot slower. Dennis also tanks, thinking about the south, but it's twice out. We may see if, for instance, a north is drawn, a switch from Dora onto that.
I'm curious to see what will happen when a Riichi comes to play. How Dennis chooses to dance around that. I mean, at that point, it's probably too late to drop the Dora, so you might just fight as the dealer.
Ishanten, no one's been able to break out of Ishanten jail besides Dennis right now, who had to call for it open. And Max has also lost a bit of efficiency, having to play that 2-mon. Is Tenpai, or is Ishanten now, though? 4-mon helps clean up. We need the 3-mon, though.
Chi for Sanchoku Tenpai.
Chi.
And we are going to see exactly that from Brian.
3, 4, 5 in all 3 suits. Beautiful.
Tanyao Sanshoku, we need the 4-pin, though. And only the 4-pin. Still 2 left in the wall. 3-mon, will we play it floating? Emily's going to shove it. Don't want it. Max finds Tenpai. What are we going to do? 2 3s seen.
Each.
Is going to Riichi on it.
2
3s left in the wall. We're going to pawn, break E-pots, get to this better weight. We are on 4 5 7-pin. 7-pin Genbutsu could come out here from Emily. What's the drop? Could do 8-mon, could do 9-mon. Looks safe.
9-mon's okay too. Oh,
it's going to play full Genbutsu, and Brian snipes it, shuts the table down, collects the reach stick plus 2K.
Brian is just unstoppable.
We saw his first game. He dominated that one. Sounds like he confirmed a third in the second game. But from what we've seen, he can only win hands.
And oh my goodness. Yep, quick Tenpai 4-7 no Baton. Why not? Riichi know me, but you're dealer. People have to respect it.
We'll see if there's any way other players can match this. On the right, that looks really strong from Emily.
That's Ishanten. The question is, we have to push stuff versus the dealer. What are we going to do?
Same time, we have nothing safe, so we might as well.
6-mon could play 2-pin maybe. Yeah. Nope, gonna offer that 3-mon.
That could have been a timeout as well because there's so many options here. But I think this is a totally fine way to play because the 2 3 4 5 7 7 7 shape super wide and accepts the Dora as well as the 2-5 pin.
4-7 we may match. We would have to draw exactly 4 or 7-mon though, I think, to keep this here.
Yes.
Oh,
there it is.
Well, speaking of, we're gonna counter Riichi 5-8. So on that, we're probably gonna drop 2-pin.
Each.
Surely.
Yep. Riichi 5-8. So was better in the wall, now a little bit worse. Or now actually still a little bit better. There's 1-4, 1-7, and 1-5 and 1-8. So we're going even Stevens, and the 5's found.
Comes down from Brian straight to Emily.
Naughty Pots reach Tanyao. Misses Dora, but Brian shut down. No big dealerships, no big repeats.
Yeah, and this is Emily's playstyle. She has no fear when it comes to fighting against the dealer Riichi. And against an early Riichi too, you're not anticipating that as a super, they haven't had time to build their hands, so it doesn't have to be a strong shape or strong value. As is, Emily just cut the perfect set of draws to counter what Brian was putting together. And now, if she played that hand any other way, she almost certainly deals in with a 4-mon.
Yeah, cutting from that early Manzu was one of the only ways you could play the double 4 and the 7 that came after. Maybe even the only way.
The needle there.
Everybody's building up their hand shape. Nobody really jumping out with anything crazy. Dennis across, though. Ishan Dora 2, hit a 3-mon, add Pinfu to it. The weight wouldn't be great, but could even go a Dora Shabo 7-mon 9-pin.
Any world where Dennis finds 789 Sanchoku?
Maybe. I would think a third 9. The problem is you draw like a third 9 and you just take Riichi on the 3, though. Like, I think it's hard to ship. You'd have to draw 9-mon exactly, and
it's fixing this awkward Kanchan 2 4-mon by drawing a pair there.
That's true.
Somehow working your way with a 7-mon cut and then an 8-pin draw.
Yeah. 6-mon, that's Tenpai though. Yeah, and Dennis is going to slam with 2 Dora. 3-mon, dealer can't play it most likely. And nobody else really has a lot of good to fight with. Max would have to get some perfect draws. Emily's going to have to be brave and check a lot, which there's not a whole lot of safety, so she might, but especially with that 8-pin, the hand is extremely slowed now. Had to have checked a Manzu in order to try to speed it up to match this fight versus Dennis.
Yeah,
although if we're going to draw pairs. Oh, and Max gets perfect draws, but again, that floating Dora, scary. Extremely scary. 3-mon.
2 players with the Dora having dropped the 8-pin means that unless they pair the Dora up, the hand almost certainly cannot be played.
Max may get Chitoi Tenpai on it. Is going to have to check 4-mon. May decide to with a Nakasuji 1. Or with a Nakasuji 4-mon, excuse me.
If a 1-mon clears, perhaps you can make that argument.
Yeah, but that's the trick, right? You have to clear the 1-mon. Although Max is going to opt to a Chi route. Certainly fishing for the Tonki on the 9-pin. Knowing him as a player. On the left, Brian has been trying to do some Iwashi action. Hasn't had the worst pushes, but still just not enough right now to try and fight. Still ground Shanten. Emily's going to back out with the 8s. Max maintains Ishan 10 here. Has one scary push to make for K10. Is Furi 10 on that 8-pin as well. So that's going to be another point of contention for the hand.
Oh.
3-mon, we see 3 4s, but with the 7, Manzu looks bad. Pinzu looks worse, though.
4-mon, surely. 7-pin is also just safe if you're playing the Tonki route. I think I probably just 7-pin there.
Yeah. Besides 5-pin Nakasuji. Sees that. I know some insider knowledge. Max was saying he was a little nervous going into that all last high pressure, high tension scenario. Maybe did he cool off, or are we still feeling the burn? Emily assuredly missing Tenpai. Could even con here, force Max into an ugly situation. Doesn't want it though, and Dennis ends only player Tenpai, collects 3K from the class, moves the game into East 4. An absolute bullet game of Mahjong.
All the games have been really fast. You know, the fourth table actually started later than the one that we were covering, and it finished so quickly.
I know. I was so surprised. I was like, surely we can go to that table, watch something, and I saw the scores in for that, and I was like, okay. Guess we're doing it.
Dealer had with a Dora and some options, but a lot of weak shapes here. 1-2 so, 1-2 pin.
Yep.
Or rather 2-4 pin if you're shifting Tanya. And I think making a Tanya shift is quite sensible here because you really like to repeat. And the scoreline is so close that even 1,500 points or 2,900 points could make a big deal.
Yeah. Third 4-pin. I'll clean us up a little bit. We still have some ugly shapes. But again, you draw the 6-so, you pair up the 2-so. All of a sudden, Tanya looking kind of nice. May even drop one so here. I believe that's the most efficient because you can play like 2-4-4. Or yeah, the 5-mon. Leave yourself with all the options.
Not losing too much by dropping one of them.
6-man across away. Brian's trying to find a hand. Great shapes, but has some draws left to get there.
Look at that. Rewarded for holding the one so. Ishanten.
Emily's still Wen-Chien. Some clutter to get out. Dennis on the right. Interesting hand, but again, not the quickest. Needs some more distance. And now we have options. Max can also opt for a Dora Tonki route here. Doesn't want it, though. Could have dropped 9, fish for a 6 around it, fish for a pair of 7s. Aiming for a 4-pin cut later, but...
Headless was definitely a thought there.
Yeah, I guess there's the free 10 problems on the 1-pins, too. Makes it a bit worse to have the 1 4-pin as part of your weight.
Ooh. So much of our Dennis is actually a little tricky here. He'll make the Tanyao shift.
Yep. Makes complete sense. Knowing Dennis put the easy Tanyao.
Brian's hand, though.
Brian's trying to find Tempai. Yep. Scary. 3-6 is looking like the point of contention. 2 3-0s. Dennis has blocked.
Riichi Tanyao Dora 2 3-6 is not very live.
1-3-1-6. That 5.
Chitoi Tempai. 4-so is the safe. Just decide whether to reach or not. We'll slam with the Dora.
Dora's dead though.
Only 1 tile for Brian's weight. It's 1 versus 0 in the wall.
Who draws that last 3? Emily may decide to play. Not that. And Emily draws it! Surely she's out. There's almost no way you can play 3 and 6. And yep, I think Emily's out. May try to do a backup Chitoi. That's about the only route where you can play both of those.
Yeah, she can't even pair them up. There are none left.
And now it's, can Max get Tempai and continue the fight? South safe. Completely fine on the board. We're going to drop 2-pin first, though.
Yeah, because 2 Riichis.
It's
going to be really tough, but...
Is 4-mon going to come out here? Nope, not yet. Oh, add the 9. Let's get that whole Xuzhi line out. Let's just make sure. Oh, pair of the 9s. The game wants Emily to drop those so bad. Such discipline, though. Not going to do it.
I mean, everything floating is that Xuzhi set, the 369 Xuzhi set.
And it's immediately validated seeing 3-6-0 dealing. This is using head bump. So if 3-so would have been dropped, then Dennis certainly would have been the one who got points. Unless I'm confused.
On 7-so Tonki.
Or 7-so, yes. So
we saw a couple of instances in the first game where head bump was relevant. Or I guess in the European series, I remember there being a couple of head bump scenarios.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of weights that were overlapping with the other players.
I always feel like that's a sign that players are playing well when they're waiting on the same tiles. It doesn't always end up that way, but it always feels good to have selected the Tonki weight that overlaps with the Yamen weight. Guess the weight correctly. Speaking of Tonki weights, Emily across the table with multiple pairs and a Dora. I don't think that hand really wants to be 7 pairs, but it could, especially if you pair up the Dora.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another
yeah, pair. that might convince you. Yeah, you really don't even want to back up. You could throw it back to the option.
Yeah, Peko even.
Throw Dora out though. Is gonna opt for the normal hand. Wants to play the Dora. Doesn't like the Chitoi route.
Yeah, the normal hand Ishanten is reasonably strong. Jen, what do you think? Do you play the pairs there, or do you play normal?
I always play normal.
That's fair.
6-pin, not quite gonna help us. I believe 4-pin's a little more flexible. Nope, gonna work in that Dora. Not decide on it.
Has shifts into Tanyao.
It's fair.
She was never really going to drop the Dora anyway,
Yeah.
especially because Max looks like he's forcing a Mon flush, and you don't really want to drop a Dora into a Mon flush.
Let's not load that cannon up with some more gunpowder. That's definitely the thing you want to avoid here. We're going Hatsu and Haku for Max's hands. We need to hit at least one of them, and then we have the 5-8 Mon, which we can see 5-8 Mon is in demand right now. All the 5s. Excuse me, there's 1 5 left in the wall and 2 8s. So that not even that good is going to be a bit of a journey for Max to find Tenpai, especially with a reach now on the board. Brian's found it. Is it 4-7? Yes, 4-7, 7 for Ipeco.
Funny collection of tiles.
Yeah. Feels like it should be more, but not quite.
Ooh, that's an extra 4, but Max can go 1-2. Instead, backs away Hatsu. There's the Sumo.
What?
Riichi Sumo, Dora. No Ura found.
And it counts as the middle, the Kanchan Sumo, so it gets the extra food there.
Oof.
I love the bonus foo. That's one of my favorite parts of Mahjong is to be able to interpret the shape slightly differently to get the extra value.
Oh my goodness, and Max trying to fight Brian off dealership knows that top 1's the way to go, and it opens for West, but Brian's hand just insane here. Has the South to call quick, even has 4 pairs here. There's a Chitoy backup, an Ipeco on the 6-pin, and you can edge Chitoy. So quick.
Emily has chances though on the right. Tanya potential Ipeco chance. Could get the twin sequences.
Dennis
and
on
a lot of flexibility with the, or rather variety of tiles that can be drawn and used in hand. Also a question about what the pair is going to end up becoming.
Yeah.
So it's always very flexible when you have different choices for your pair.
Dennis on the left also collecting up some Shanten, has some room to make up or has some distance to make up on other people's hands, but you hit the right draws at a 3 Mon, maybe a 3 so, and all of a sudden you're right there. Brian still hasn't been able to upgrade the hand as Emily draws Dora 2 on the right. Now has 4 pairs. Chitoy. Backup option. Dennis could call Tanya out here. Tanking on it, debating. 3 6s out though. It's rough, and Dennis passes, rewarded with a 9 so.
Oh, there's the 6-pin Ipeco chance.
Ipeco chance, even Chitoy Ishanten. Very flexible, strong hand from Brian as dealer. And is going to take the Riichi Ipeco. We're on 6-9 Mon. 2 9s, 1 6 in the wall.
As dealer, a huge opportunity to separate himself from the rest of the pack. And Emily reconsiders dropping a 9-pin against this Riichi. It looks really, really, really bad. Even though she has Dora 2, Tanya, the perfect 4-Mon Tanya draw, you cannot afford in game 1 of a 2-game set to deal into 12k on your turn.
And Dennis Riichi's on the 2-4 so is brave, pushes the 4 and rewarded. 2-4, really bad in the wall though. 1-2 so left.
Rewarded he is.
Emily.
Only 1 tile alive.
Emily, you only need 1 tile.
You do only need 1 tile. And with first place at stake, Riichi Dora 1.
You gotta be bold sometimes. I always say fortune favors the bold.
Would fortune have favored Max if he'd conned the West there?
Okay, let's not get crazy. Let's. Oh no! The 9 last night is gone.
And now check Uda one more time. Riichi Ipeco. Oh, Uda 2.
Uda 2. Mongan 2.
Brian unstoppable.
Truly unstoppable. Only South 2, but another over 20,000 point gap in first place in game 1.
How long until we can give Brian the nickname of the Basilisk? Because he just the snake that eats everyone around him. Oh my goodness!
I think you just did.
It might be, yeah.
So it fits.
Add this to
the Brian nickname. Yeah, put on the infographic. Like, and oh my goodness, already Ishanten again. Yeah, looking to run it back up. debating on the cut right now. I'd imagine between 4-7, so maybe even opting on playing the 1 pin is going to take the 7-so drop, though. Just a beautiful hand, and everybody else just does not have the speed to compete. Dennis is going to make a run back, but the shape is not there.
Oh,
or at least it's going to be clunky.
Valuing the Itsu here. I love it.
Oh my goodness. And he's got the 7-mon pair where Ishanze could even add Pinfu if we draw 2 pin for Tenpai.
Brian not only wants the sticky tiles, but he wants the value tiles too.
2 pin comes. We're not going to cheat it.
No call. Well, the Itsu looking a little bit more challenging now that the 2 pins have come out.
And again, still has that floating 4-so. We draw 5-so. We're Riichi, Pinfu, Dora as dealer. And life's great still.
I wonder if there's another floating tile he would exchange this 1 pin for. Maybe a central pin tile, like a 5 pin.
Eat.
Oh,
There it is.
3-6, just like I said. Not the best in the wall. 3 6s. Max, faced with a decision, is going to drop 2-mon Genbutsu. Doesn't want to risk the 3. See 1 Dora out. That might help people decide to push a little bit. Board's devalued a little bit. Knows Brian's not Shabo on it. We're not facing Dora 3 most likely. Max checking that Shonpai East. We call that the Riichi Book 1 10%. Proud of that check, for sure.
Yeah, the most exciting thing here is how the other players play against this. I love to see how other players choose to defend or fight against a dealer Riichi. Emily still has something to play for here.
I mean, there's still another game. This isn't the last game yet.
Yeah.
So everybody has something to play for. Anybody getting a Mongon is going to be worth it in this still at this point.
Yeah,
Oh, there it is.
Whoop. What is that? 5-so drop for 2 5-mon. 2 5-mon. Terrible.
Eat.
We're going to go for it, though.
All right, forget the 2-mon. It's the 5-mon we're looking for.
There
That's
is
live.
three left. Okay. A little bit better in the wall. Oh.
There's one.
And
One
Max
gone.
is going to back away. Max is not playing that.
Come on.
Oh, and we draw it. One of the last
This is
2
the
rounds.
Emily Mopshong. Take the challenge. No Uda this time. But imagine Mongon Sumo there. That would have flipped the script a bit. She would have had a great opportunity to take over first in her dealership. Still has an opportunity here.
Reach Sumo Dora.
Yeah, a Mongon from a player other than Brian wouldn't be quite enough, but any draw for Mongon and any win that she can get will give her another chance at dealership. So still lots of opportunities to overtake Brian to go into the last game in first place.
Just always impressed by players who have the guts to challenge you like that. Would you take that Riichi Gen? The Penshon? The 5-mon Penshon?
My brain is trying to work around that phrase.
Yeah, all the 2-mon were
I
dead.
mean,
Yeah.
if I still have a dealership, then I'm very likely to reach often.
You can always make
if
it
I don't
back.
have any dealership, if I don't have dealership left, then I'm more cautious.
See, I'm more glass half empty, and it's, I'll just fold back, and I guess I'll get it the dealer run later, because God knows if I have to push this tile, it's the one that deals in every time.
I mean, yeah,
Boom.
so you were giving a nickname to Brian. My nickname is Furikomi Machine.
Wow.
Interesting spot for
Pretty much us for
Emily.
Emily.
6, 7, 8 Sanshoku looking rough, but we get an E-Peiko. Handle it out.
And it's
Ishanten.
also went away for all pairs, so lots of useful tiles here.
Brian has a con. Can even can hear me out. Can use it to break a Riichi from dealer too. Would Brian ever do that? Who knows? But
I very much
another
doubt
fun
it.
option. Yeah. Oh.
Unless he's Tenpai.
Emily decides not to greed the Cheetoy Dora route and draws 2 Dora back to back.
I mean,
Still fishing for Tenpai. I think it's definitely the play to drop the 9 there. It's just so good. You have this
It
quick
is.
Tanyao call too. You're not expecting to get Dora.
Chi.
I mean, because of the Chitoi option, the 6 dot is also pretty tempting in that situation.
Yeah, but with an
Especially
8
if you're
out.
reading. Oh, goodness.
But Brian gets Tenpai on the 7, so Kanshan and finds it. The wall feeding Brian every tile he could possibly want. We go into all last. Max in the pilot seat. We got a Dora worked in, a Yakuhai to call. But Brian's hand across. 2 Dora locked in. Finds another pair. God, everybody at this table fishing for Shanten right now. Brian just bought himself a Sanshoku route out too on the 4-5-6. Can open, can play Dora too with that. On the left, Emily fishing for Shanten, hoping to play something closed, keep everybody tight. Probably end second. Max is going to open on the Yakuhai. Take one quick.
Yeah, it's nice. Got a sticky one away. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of Manzu characters and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As well as the 2 of Bamboos. Is Tenpai.
4-pin. Brian's going to cheese. Sees the 4-5-6 Dora 2, possibly 3 route. Dennis trying to fish for any sort of hand right now, but not going to find it. Maybe hoping for a cheap dealer repeat from this position.
Trying to think if I would have maybe kept the 4 instead of the...
I think I would have kept the 4 instead of the 7 there, yeah. The 1-4 just feels too good from this hand position. You get Nobetons. You
Give
get
you
Pone.
like a few extra, but because you're using the tiles next to it, I'm not sure how many exact extra tiles it gives you, but it definitely gives you 1 extra type of tile.
Brian debating on whether to keep this 9 Mon. Is going to opt away from it. Or is going to opt to keep it, rather. 4-7.
Some issues with the 8 so that were cut earlier.
4 Mon pair up. We could be on 2-5 Mon Tenpai for Dora 2. As Max finds Tenpai on the 7, so most of it in hands. We're going to take Tenpai on 5 Mon. Pone, we don't like 3 Mon, 4 Mon.
Instacon.
Max Con Slam says, I want the draw, not found. 4-so. Dora out. Brian. No Mongon route unless probably third 3 Mon is drawn, but might not even take it. Would be free 10 to keep the 4 Mon, would have to Tonki on the 6. 5-so out. Dennis has been trying to make a hand here. Can't find it.
Just 1 7 left.
5 Mon hanging. Is it gonna come out? Emily's thinking. It's gonna push it. Brian's gonna clean up.
To the worst place possible for Emily.
On outdoor too. Yeah, Emily did not want to give any more points to Brian. Brian's such a strong, efficient player. And with a huge lead going into this last game, pretty much going to be forced to get a 4th.
It is entirely possible, though. I'm curious to see how Brian plays with this lead. We saw in the last game, he confirmed a 3rd place to lock in the advancement into the final round. And we'll see how he chooses to play. You know, in this first game, very aggressive. But when you've got the lead, you don't need to take Riichi battles as much. We'll see how he maintains his advantage.
I think the players are going to take a few minutes to calculate what they need. So I think we can also take a break.
Yep. We are probably going to take a quick break. We're going to make sure everything's updated. Get ready for this final table.
Oh.
Oh.
Just kidding. They didn't take a break.
Oh.
They did the math.
I mean, it is just one score too. The scores aren't that massive that it takes a lot of calculators. But
Well, they also had an extra 5 minutes, right?
oh, true. Yes, they did take a 5-minute break.
So yes, we have about 4 minutes. Scores are up on the screen. Brian leading at plus 36.6, Emily 4.5, Max minus 11.4, and Dennis minus 29.7 has some room to make up.
Okay, well, we're waiting for that to start, and before I go, I want to make sure that everybody subscribes to the channel because we have a lot of commentary coming up. We have the Sankei Shinbun Cup will be finishing up, and it looks like we will be also continuing that commentary into the next season. And we also have the Saikyosen team battle, so we have a lot of professional commentary. And although this was the first World Riichi League finals, we are going to have World Riichi Pros up and coming, and so there will be a lot of World Riichi League and other pro events that we'll be commentating on as well. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure that you're subscribed. If you want to support even more, we now accept memberships, and we will be coming up with some special content for members only as well. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Jen. We have a few minutes to go before our final game of this event, and we'll have a new commentator to join us. Welcome to the one and only Korak.
Hello, everyone.
I have to say, it's been a long time coming, this event, and it's finally here. We're finally at the very last table, very last game of the last table, and we have a situation where Brian has a big advantage. The gap between first place and second place is 32.1 points. Between first and third is 48, and first and fourth place is 66.3. So a lot of work to be done. Now, if you are the players sitting around the table, how are you approaching this situation?
Just complete, unquestioned greed. I don't want to win a hand lower than Mongon except to shut down a Riichi from the person I'm trying to chase.
And do you think that we're going to see a situation where players pass wins to try to target Brian directly?
I think they probably could. I don't know that I would in maybe East round, but if it's South round and nothing's changed, you absolutely have to.
All right. Well, we'll see how things go. Brian will be the first dealer. Dennis to the right, Emily across the table, Max on our left. And it feels like there's a little bit of an inherent advantage in being the last dealer, especially if the other two players are still behind in the standings. They're playing to their condition. It might take them extra time to build their hands. They might be on Yakuman only. Therefore, you might be afforded more time to construct your own hand as the dealer, and that could give you a strong advantage in being able to repeat a number of times. But at all points, Brian will be trying to shut that down with his own hand.
Yeah, so assuming Brian is still in this position when we get to the end of the game, Brian just needs to win anything. One other thing Yen talked about, it's also important that Brian isn't second to last dealer, which means that if you get in that situation, Max gets the ability to call from Emily. If Emily says, this hand isn't making it, I just want Max to be tempted to try and make another hand. That play can be made.
That's a good point as well.
Oh, and just... this is a very good starting hand. Riichi, Pinfu, Ipeiko looking there. Two completed shapes. A good... oh, wow. Is there really anything to say? If you're running this hot, no one's stopping you. On the right, Dennis has kind of a Pinfu Tanya hand. You have that south pair. You're just going to Riichi this and hope you fill your Kanchan. 2-4-2-4. Across the way, west pair could call and maybe get the 1,000 just to shut down Brian's dealer, but it's not ideal. On the left, we have two Door and a Hatsu, of course, looking to pull in the last one. But anything you get there to shut this down would be nice. I like the floating 4-pin. And he really liked this South Donkey idea. If you draw the 5, I imagine this is an immediate slam.
I imagine so. This South looks amazing. And Dennis, as a folding option, might choose to cut it out.
Oh, and that just Tempai on the left, 5-8 for Hatsudor 2.
That'd be a fantastic start. If the Dora comes out, for some reason, you absolutely pull it and switch to a Tonki for Mongun, but...
Yeah, we just have everyone trying to go for cheap hands, or relatively cheap hands. Max has the door to back it up, but Brian, with his amazing starting hand, is still a Shunten.
Step 1, make sure that the leader does not get to repeat.
Chi.
And step 2, repeat on your own dealership.
Now you see the very aggressive calls, and there's the Sumo, 1,000, 2,000. Max with the first strike here, but has a long way to go.
Yeah, again, Max with 48 points to make up. So big in first is a good start. He needs to expand on that.
Dennis with kind of a mediocre Pinfu hand can accept Dora, maybe shift to Tanya if you have 1-3, 1-3. On the right, you have a Hatsu pair, maybe a Peiko and Pinzu. Across the way, looks very Chitoi, bunch of pairs. Maybe you could turn this some sort of a Peiko Chanta type hand. And on the left, this looks like a pretty standard Pinfu with a Dora, distant 1-2-3, 2-3-4 Sanchoku.
Ooh, that 5-pin from Dennis definitely greeting the Dora and the Sanshoku. As you said before the game started, greed is the name of the game here for these players trying to catch up.
Yeah, because unless you can get multiple splits between where you are and where Brian is, you have to absolutely run the score up. And even Emily here, even if there's a 2 gap, still has a bunch of points to make up.
2 gaps will probably be enough. She should be about 12 points over even with after 2 gaps, but you could get a scenario with a very close game where that's just not enough. So 100% agree.
Dennis with potential Riichi Sanchoku Dora, the 1-2-3 looking very good. Well, that may change your decisions. No, just throws it back. Of course, there's only 1 left in the wall, so it's not a great option. At the same time, I kind of like either cutting 7-pin or 5-mon.
I wonder if the Tuso comes out, if he's just willing to open up this hand, or if he wants to stay close to the maximum value.
Faizo, and we were talking about the greed. That is it's Sanshoku, I don't care, get it out of here. I don't think that really is justified as dealer. If you get Riichi Dora 1, that's probably good enough. Oh, and we have Tempai on the right now with 2 Dora. We'll have a Tonki 2-mon or 3-mon. Chooses the 3-mon here, but it's Hatsudor 2 for Emily.
Probably planning to switch that to something else very soon.
Ishunten on the left as well.
Well, not the 5, though.
Oh, that holds the 3 for now. Max avoids the deal in, and we have Riichi on the left. Riichi Dora 1, 9-pin Tuso. There is 1 Tuso out. The 9-pin looked pretty locked in Max's hand at this point.
If the 3-mon wasn't so bad, I'd be really tempted to swap to that 4-so Tonki that just came out of Brian's hand and try to snipe a win.
And Denna is going to try and dance around here a bit. At the same time, I just want to fight. I don't think you're in a position to mess around.
Emily not willing to jam this 3-mon for the 2-sided weight that waits on the last 6-pin that's safe to the Riichi and the Dora. Not this 1-pin.
It is right by Dora. At the same time, the 3-mon isn't a great tile either. Figures the 1 is either good in the wall, which it actually is, or maybe there's some sort of other upgrade. Oh, well, that's just 4-sided. You always cut the 1 here.
4-sided 3D10, but you have Dora 3, right? You're going to take it.
At the same time, what's your other... Oh, there's the 9.
Xuzhi.
Of course it is Xuzhi, so Riichi Dora 1. No Ura. Hits Max, who was in first place. And this is a great result there for Brian. And we're at East 3, kind of running out of time for some of these players. Especially, ooh, 3, so a great fill there. Maybe able to pull on Haku and go for the Haku Dora 1. could, of course, always go close. On the right, ooh, that's an amazing hand potential with a Ipeco, possible Chitoy. 6-0 if you get a regular hand. 3-0 would also be a regular hand. If you just pair up the 7, I think you just go for the Chitoy. Across the way, Pinfu, maybe 2-3-4 Sanshuku. And on the left, Chanta with a Hatsu pair. Maybe Sanshuku. You really want... Oh, okay, that 2-0 doesn't really do anything immediately. But what you're really hoping to do is draw the 1-mon or 3-mon.
Absolutely. And Max with a great 8-so fill moves in the direction of Tanya. Ishanten, actually.
Yeah, it's Ishanten, not an ideal one because you need to fill the 6-0 Kanchan and the 5-pin Kanchan, but at least the 5-pin gives you the Peiko.
That is sort of begrudgingly opening up here for Tuhan.
Yes, it is just Tempai on the 2-pin.
Eyes on Emily, though.
Could cut 5, so if you want to get really greedy, but I'm fine with this. Ooh, well, that extends the shape in Pinzu. You can throw it back. You can throw 7-so. Goes with a 4-so instead. Let me see this shape. That is a messy shape without a pair.
If you pair up, 4-mon or 6-mon, you'd be pretty happy. But outside of that, you've got this sort of
I
wing
feel
shape.
that 4-so is a pretty big efficiency mistake.
Yeah, maybe 7-so first.
7 was what I was thinking.
Yeah, then you'd be.
Yeah, now you'd be Tempai. You'd be happy with this. I mean, he's just now realizing what he did.
Yeah, we'll take the good weights in the Sozu instead.
Haku
kind of like...
Pon throws the Dora Tempai on 3-6-0.
And no other value, but any win is a good win here for Emily.
Your dealer, you don't have to care about value. At least in the immediate term. Oh, well, just pair your 7-so up. That fixes the problem. And it's Riichi Tanya on 3-so, 6-so. So we have 2 players in the same weight, but Emily will head bump anything.
Ooh. Max and Oli win by Sumo. Emily gets a free pass 3-pin.
Oh, this may just be the 2. There it is. Deals it on the left. Dennis says, well, I'm not really thrilled with this, but I'll take the extra stick at least and knock Brian into 4th for now.
Yeah, Brian probably not too sad to be dealing to Dennis rather than the dealer or the Riichi player.
And pretty good starting in here for Max. Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora. Does need to do something with that 5-8 in Pinzu, though. On the right, certainly kind of Pinfu type shape. Has a Dora. You do have that Penchon. Across the way, we have a West call, likely a Hatsu call as well. The question is, how much do you greed for the Honitsu? And I think where Dennis is, I want to go Honitsu with this. 2 Han is not enough. You're running out of hands. And, of course, on the left, Emily with a fairly shaded Pinfu hand has this floating Dora. Maybe some sort of 6-7-8 Sanshku or Pinzu Ipeiko, but nothing immediate. There's the Hatsu Pon. Oh, no, and just takes the Tempai. Again, I don't think 2,000 is enough here. Dennis needs to be greeting a lot more with his position.
Yeah, has a huge gap.
I would have even cheated that 8 as a sign of how kind of desperate I am in the situation.
Yeah, maybe over the 2-mon that was discarded.
Yeah, over the 2-mon. And now I have floaters with 2, 5, 6, 8, which is not an ideal Ishanten, but hey, it's Ishanten for Mongon, which is what you need. And speaking of Ishanten, Max now has a potential Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora. We need the 7-mon for the Pinfu.
Hoping to round this dealership a bit. Also going to be Dennis's plan.
Oh, there it is. Rounds. That's an easy slam. Dealer Manga. Oh no, throws the 4.
Chooses the 3-sided weight.
Takes the 3-sided weight rather than Ryanman with the Pinfu. So this is the wider weight, but the cheaper one. And I don't think you should really ever be taking cheaper weights given the situation here.
Yeah, 4 sides is pretty tempting, but value is also very tempting too.
All right, well, Brian is completely fine with this. No one's getting out in front.
And
we have Dennis with a few points, but even get 4th here, it's not a problem.
The only issue is if Brian takes the 4th with Emily first. But if he can make sure that he's within 2 placements of Emily, that he doesn't mind being close to these other players.
Yeah, Dennis absolutely has to go on a huge run here, even in first. But look at the hands. Of course, Brian has a Pinfu, maybe Sanshoku with the 1, 2, 3. Oh, now forge your pair. Absolutely looking for Sanshoku. On the right, we have a Hatsu Pon, 2 Dora, trying to get something out of this. You don't have to think too hard when you have 2 Dora. Just make it happen. Across the way, we have Ishan 10 for Haku Dora 1. Ooh, could go Toy Toy here. If you really want to just cut the Dora and cut 5-pin, you can, but instead cuts the 2, so says that's the Dora is fine. If we pair it up, that's feeling pretty good. 4 Mon, interesting choice here.
There's some Tanyao shifts.
Well, it's really hard to go Tanyao because of the 1, 2, so. If you're going to do that, I think you just cut 1, 2, so, and that's the decision here. Because this does also give you routes for Itsu, and we have Tenpai across the way on 4-pin. That is the Dora indicator, and they look actually not that locked on the right. Dennis may end up throwing this 4.
I can easily see that happening. He needs more blocks, though. He's still super deficient right now in terms of shapes. So hold that 1 pin for a while, maybe the 4 pin as well. Try to connect to it.
7 doesn't really do anything, but we'll take the ugly Shampon up, quote-unquote, upgrade. The idea here is draw another Dora and cut a 6.
Yeah.
This is another one where I think if you get the winning tile, you throw it back. You might argue to take it just because Brian is dealer.
I think Emily is in a spot where she is probably actually okay with Itsumo here.
It would knock Brian into 4th temporarily, which is, of course, your goal. Oh, well, there's your other Dora, and now everything is regrets.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis with the Dora pair. Oh, he's going to be in trouble because he probably has to cut the 1 pin here.
There it is, and that's just going to be Pinfu, but it's going to shut the Dora hands up, and Brian says, I'll just take my 1,500, be done with this. We'll have another dealer as a result, back at 30,000, so above start, in second place right now. Kind of a Pinfu Tanya hand, has a Dora. Well, there goes your Tanya anyway, but still a pretty good hand. On the right, Pinfu, maybe Nipeko in Sozu. Across the way, Kanchan's everywhere. You have 1 Ryama, and every other block is bad. On the left, we have a Chun pair. And it's not that far from Tenpai, but it's just not expensive. We'll go ahead and call the tune. Max sees no real route with this hand. Well, now you can accept 1 Dora, I suppose, with a 3, 4, 5-pin being Dora. And Ishan 10 now on the left.
Still slow hands across the board. Max certainly the fastest. Brian maybe the second. Tenpai here, but on the right, Dennis says yet to connect to the Dora 5 pin. Same for Emily across the table. And those shapes are just not conducive to winning the hand.
Well, there's an Anko on the 6. Now, you can cut the 6-8. You can cut the 2-so. I think I like going headless here with the 2-so. But this does increase better shapes for Max. And that's something Max has been doing in basically all the hands, is taking whatever's the best shape.
Good shapes lead to good weights. Good weights lead to higher win chances. Well, there's a connector finally.
Yes, now we have Brian with Ishan 10. I imagine if you get the 7-so, may even just Dama for position. Normally you'd slam that. Oh, there's Senpai on the left, waiting 2 5-so for Chundora 1. 5-so pair up gives the Peiko route. Also Chitoy backup. Might just go 2-mon here. Problem is there are 2 6s. Oh, no, just throws the 5. That's going to be the deal in. And again, if you're Brian, this is great.
Yeah, look at the scoreline. If you're Emily, you're pretty happy too. I think Dennis definitely was thinking about the 4, 5, 6 Sanchoku possibilities there. And now gets the dealership back.
All right. Has a Pinfu, maybe an Itsu, and has the Dora shape there with a 1, 2, 3 on the right. Kind of a Pinfu, has 3 pairs, not too much else across the way. Maybe an Itsu in Sozu, might even go Chinitsu. And on the left, kind of a Pinfu hand, but a fairly slow one.
Ooh, Sozu.
That 8-pin is definitely an I want to go Chinitsu.
I want to see a Menzen hand here. flush hands.
9-mon. Could have hedged towards the 799 Sanshoku. I might have gone with one of the dragons there.
Oh, huge draw for Dennis. 8 so fill. Now he's shut 10 for potentially Riichi Pinfu Itsudora 1.
You can't really use that 3 because if you get the 2, you're just Furi 10. I guess you could take the 5-8 weight.
Nobuton, yeah.
Yeah, but look at where the 8s are. They're so bad. And now the 5's dying too.
Still gonna take that chance. Really, we just want.
Oh, that's good enough. Riichi Pinfu Dora 1.
All right, as dealer, gonna take the slam here. 2-sided. Not that many tiles remaining. Only 3. That is praise for Ipatsumo.
Yes, 3 5s out, 2 2s out. Oh, 3 2s out now.
Right now plays to fold, although not a lot is clear here. The 3 so, and then the 147 Xuzhi in the Manzu, but nothing else.
Emily not giving up here, but has that floating 2-mon that might get pushed.
And 1 so 2 so here, so it'll go into the 3 so.
We might see it come out right here.
He really doesn't want to, but doesn't have much else.
Yeah, when you make that call, you have to commit to it. There it goes. Riichi Pinfu Dora. Great result for Brian. Dennis will take it. And the Ura there for a Mungon. That's the start of a run, but Brian in the catbird seat now.
So Brian is absolutely chilling now. Just going to watch Dennis and see how far he can run this up. Because he needs a lot. I think it's 66.3.
So you figure you have to at least get to 65,000 and hope that Brian's taking a hit in the meantime. But has a decent hand here. No value, though, but fairly close to Tempai. You have 2 completed shapes, a Ryama and a Kanchan, and you don't have to worry about your pair that much. On the right, do you go Honitsu? Do you go Chanta? Really hard to decide what to do, but you have 2 Dora, so you just want to get anything. Across the way, pretty standard Pinfu hand, nothing fancy there. And on the left, cuts the 5-pin, does not take the Ryankan, probably moving towards Chanta Sanshoku.
Yeah, it's weird because it's kind of callable, but at the same time, you don't really want to call. You just want to be holding these safe Chanta tiles. So I imagine he'll stay closed for a while and then see, maybe open up if he gets close to Tempai via draws.
6-mon pulls in. We'll take the 5-8. Of course, you lose the 3 acceptance. Do we ever cut 1 2-pin there?
I definitely was thinking about it. I think Max was as well. We do lose the 3-mon acceptance, of course.
Oh, that's the advantage, is you just pair up the 2, and that solves all your problems in this hand. That's also why you go for the 1-pin first in this situation.
Right.
Some players will say, I want the defense. You're not worried about defense in this situation. You need to win hands. You need to win expensive hands. Oh, 6-0, great draw there on the right. That is now Ishunten. Trying to decide if there's an Itsu, and I'm not seeing it unless you draw another 3-so.
Oh, backfire on the 8, but it's still slightly wider for pair acceptance.
Cannot call that 9. 5-mon doesn't do anything.
Naturally, the tune comes out after we've discarded it.
Could call this. I think I'd take it, but will not. Oh, there's Tempai. This is Riichi Pinfu, possible Tanyao.
This is what Brian has been preparing himself for, to be able to play against this Riichi.
And if you're not calling the West the previous turn, you're just probably folding on it. That 2-mon is definitely an I'm folding.
We're going to see a chase.
Dealer will chase, though. Riichi Pinfu here as well, 5-8-mon.
Big opportunity. Dennis needs these dealerships, cannot back down, and it's a DC versus...
Oh, just Ipatsumo! Riichi Ipatsumo Pinfu!
Check that, Uda. Can he hit? Not this time.
Does get the stick, though, and this is the kind of gap you're looking for, but at the same time, Brian now gets to second place because of the Riichi stick from Max.
Yeah, Dennis will almost certainly need to drop Brian to third at some point in this dealership run, but for the time being, just collect as many points as you can.
All right, well, Dennis with the Pinfu-type hand has all these odd tiles. When I look at a hand, that's just one of my tricks is How bad is it? Count the number of odd tiles, number of even tiles. If either of them gets to less than 3, it's a bad hand. It's Ryonkon. How many Ryonkon do you even count in a hand? 4?
Yeah,
On the right,
that's
also
close.
not ideal shapes. Maybe a Tanya shift labor. You have that 1, 2, 4, 4, 7, 9. Across the way, Chun pair and a Dora. Maybe Chitoy Dora 2s you're up for value. And we'll just call the 1. He's going full Toy Toy. Calls the 2. Plan here is Toy Toy, Chun, Dora 2 probably.
Brian, another choice here, whether to call play for the Itsu or play for the floating tiles. It keeps the Itsu option again.
I like the Itsu option here because Brian just doesn't want to have to Riichi anything. 6 is a great fill there. You can cut the 9, move this much more towards Tanyao.
Even a small thought of 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. We'll wait and see.
A bit of backfire there with that 6, 7 on the left. Oh, well, how much do you believe in that 5, 6, 7 Sanju? Because I don't know anymore. I might have even gone the 1 so here. I want Tanya with this. It is not the most efficient, but at the same time, I just really want to start calling. Oh, just in passes the 7, draws the last 7 in the wall.
The hesitation there, because that was the third one. We're kind of running thin on options, but rewarded for the patience. How about a 4-pin?
3 Mon isn't going to do anything. The 9 Mon, you can pair this up. It technically advances the shapes a little bit, but it's such a mess. It cuts the 1 Mon. Of course, Max is hoping that 5 so comes out. Oh, there's Tempai on the left waiting for 7 Mon. And I feel this 7 just going to come out from Emily.
Yeah, there's no weights left in the wall, so Emily would have to drop it. The Riichi, though, it might hold it back.
Might hold it back now. But it should be 9-9 first, probably. This is Riichi Dora 1 with the 4 so. It's actually 2 in the wall.
Tumon Jam taking the fight against this dealer who wants to win this hand here.
We've already seen the 1. You saw the 3 not that long ago. And this is the direct competition for Brian.
Yeah,
there's a Chun. That's going to be Tempai. 1 4 so. On Genbutsu 1 so. Not the ideal win because you need the points. There's 1 Dora as well. But I guess this is just taking... Oh, well, that is an Ishan 10. I think you just have to start fighting. Yeah, it goes with the 1-pin.
3-pin, safe. Max cleared it.
Tempai on the right now. Riichi Dora 1.
That's a slam.
Sumo.
But just with that, going to be Chun Dora 1, the extra foo from the sumo. But that's just going to end Dennis's chance here. Unless we have Brian taking 4th, there's basically no chance.
Well, Emily has a chance to make that a reality here. Her dealership, and this is, I mean, from 4th place, you got to run it up now.
South pair, a Dora. This is very much a call and go type hand. You could brute force the Honitsu from it. And ooh, that West draw makes me just want to cut 7-pin. That you have so many points here that although you just want to win, you also want to actually win something useful. On the right, we have a Hatsu pair, not too much else across the way. A few pairs there as well, maybe some sort of Manzu upgrade. Maybe a Tanya, but you have the 2 9, so it's unlikely. On the left, that is a very nice Pinfu type hand. We see the South call from Emily. I got 4-pin. I'm going to go in for the North for now, not completely giving up on a regular hand using the 4-pin as a pair. At the same time, I also kind of want to dream of Shosushi.
I mean, honestly, if you win a Yakuman, that significantly increases your chances.
It'll also get you back in first. You know, it's very unlikely for Brian to be able to get to what would then become second. I think it really helps you if you take that route, but it's such a long way off.
Yeah, for sure. Not a realistic option in this hand.
Yeah, looks like Emily's just going to try and win the 2 Han.
What is a start? Gets the ball rolling.
West is likely going to come out. Not yet, though.
There's Honitsu shift still, and she
Yeah,
might
it's
go all
still
the way.
there. If the West comes, we'll see, because you might still cut 4-pin, 4-pin.
I'm not that thrilled with the Mon weight that I don't even mind cutting the 4-pin after the West. Max getting
Or
closer.
Mon extends the shape there on the right, uses the Dora now. Can go Hatsu. Will do so.
Could also played for the Sanshoku with the 5-mon cut, hedging the Dora and the Sanshoku chance. Not guaranteed though, so it's a little riskier than just playing for the Dora.
6-mon, now headless.
Fantastic draw because it allows you to
Could
win
you use
with
the
2 Dora.
Dora? Yeah, Sanshoku on the 4, 5, 6 potentially if you get a shift. Oh, well, that's just Tempai. You Riichi the Dora Donkey.
All right, Dora Slam, presumably.
Riichi.
Yeah, I don't see any other play here. And there it is.
And maybe thinking about waiting for the 3-mon draw so you can Riichi cutting the 6 and playing the Sanchoku and the.
Well,
and
that's
the
Tempai. You have to call it. Is you going to take the Ishunten or going to fight for the Tempai? Yeah, just take the Tempai. Waiting on 6-mon. There is 1 left.
Against a Riichi, this makes sense.
Yes. Oh, and you feel really bad when the 8 comes out like that. Could have actually cut the 5 and would have won. You have to cut the 7 here, don't you?
Upgraded
Take
weight,
3,
too strong.
6.
And
Man, you don't really care if you
considering
deal
4-pin,
in.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
trying to
actually playing-
dodge this.
Playing the value now, changing the plan. Got past Ipotsu and
Now you see the 7
Yeet.
was clear. Oh, and there's our chase. It's a
Riichi
Riichi
Pinfu.
Pinfu possible Dora. Both players waiting on 2-mon.
Brian considering the Chi, but I don't think he needs to.
I think if he had another safe tile, then he would, but he doesn't really trust this yet.
8-mon does clear though.
Oh, there's the Dora. Chi would have caused the sumo on the left.
Oh, we're
6,
gonna
you
see-
have to call. 100% call. You
Yeah,
cannot
against
be
two
no
Riichis.
10 if you're Emily.
Here we go, 1-4.
This is
Versus
non-Dora
versus two.
Honitsu Mangan. 1-4. Hon would be
There are-
Furry 10. You just throw it. Oh, there's the
That's
1!
It's the one player who will not drop it.
3 players, Tempai. Emily did get there. Everyone sees that they're going for value at this table.
Yeah, not enough rounds to sit by with the cheap hands.
All right, well, Emily with a Pinfu type hand. Few pairs here. Might even go Toy or Honitsu, but I think it's just Tanyao. Prep paper Dora. On the right, Pinfu type hand. Nothing fancy there. Across the way, few pairs. Not much else to do. And on the left, you have the 9-mon pair. It could go Chitoy, could go Tanya if you just cut it all together. It has 2 Dora, though, so definitely leaning more towards Tanya. Cuts the 2-mon, though.
Dora 2 in the hand to the left. That's what excites me the most. Honestly, I want to play that as a Chitoy, just for value purposes. That's +2 Han.
Four-pin completes the shape here with the 4, 5, 6, 8. And it doesn't really matter here. You have 2 Dora. I'm calling basically anything here.
Did I say Chitoy? I meant Suanko.
Well, that's about one of the few things I wouldn't take, is that 5-pin Chi. It's going to be really hard to get Suanko here for any of these hands. Because for Emily, you're just going to take the Sun Anko Tempai, even if you keep Ankoing up like this. Now, 9's a really annoying draw and just throws it back. It isn't even getting considered the 7-so acceptance. I
Players
might have
trying-
just cut 8-pin instead, but this is fine.
Pairs abound in the hands. I was looking at the hand at the left for the most part, but I realized Emily also with a pair of Dora. It's the dealer. Another pair for Max. He says, no again.
Now, once you hear on the first 6-so, the second doesn't do any good. 3-so, another pair on the left. Might even go 6-so to lock in the Dora pair. Now goes with the 9, moving this towards Tanyao. 6-pin gives you the Peiko Tanyao route. Riichi Pinfu Tanyao Ipeiko Ishanten.
It's a play, and again, Max with the big
Oh, there it
advantage.
is! Riichi Pinfu Tanyao Ipeiko 4-7 so, and it may come out from Emily. It may come out right here even.
Here right now.
There it is! It's not a Patsu, but it is Mangan. Unless we see an Ura 2.
Chances.
No, we'll get 11-3 though, and it's going to be a fight for first here between Dennis and Max. But again, if you're Brian, this is great. The person you were the most concerned about is sitting at 5,100. I don't think Yakuman is even enough now.
Okay, but this is actually really relevant that Max is in third, or rather that Brian is in third, because that's 20 points made up automatically by the UMA. And so Max can actually do this. The gap is 48 points, and so he's pretty big right now.
But as dealer, you don't have to do it in one hand. Has a actually very good starting end here. There's Riichi Pinfu Tanya Ipeiko Dora 2. Sumo would make that a Hanemon, but you have to fill these shapes first. On the right, that looks like a Junchan type hand. Across the way, Pinfu, but a long way to go. And on the left, at the same time, this looks like Emily just saying it's either Churen or Suanko. Because any regular hand isn't going to do it here. 6-0 is a pair up. Could even go Chitoi here. Not the ideal shape for Max, but hey, Riichi Chitoi Tanya Dora 2 would also be fine.
Dennis playing for a monster here, but Max only needs 8.9 points to tie Brian in the overall standings, assuming placements stay the same. And that means a dealer Mangan, and he has taken the lead away from Brian. This hand could be dealer Mangan as well.
It's very close to dealer Mangan. I would not chi this. I don't think the chi really helps here. He does take it, though. Looking a bit towards that 6-7-8 Sanshoku, maybe. No, just going for anything. Wants any win. He does fix the bad shape, and that was the second 4-pin. That's why it was taken, but at the same time, it's kind of a rough situation. And we'll cut the 8-so here. This is now Ishanten.
Taking an interesting route to Tempai, but the most important thing is to be Tempai.
You need to win the hands. And of course, this can accept another Dora. Of course, the 5-6 isn't that great. You see 3 4s and 3 7s out.
See, Dennis is trying to construct a monster. He's trying to construct a Riichi, Tanyao, Pinfu, Sanshoku, Ipeiko, Dora, and hit some Uda for Baimon.
See, the 6-0 held there for Brian, planning a backup Itsu route, but still planning his Junchan, and there's the call. Ishanten needs 2-so and 7-pin. And of course, the 7-pin is 3 out, and we know the last one is super locked up in Dennis's hand. The idea here is probably hope to pull the 1-pin and then cut the 8. Oh no, that's the worst draw.
Yeah, throw it back. Max won't be seeing the 6.
Oh, so this allows you to penchant shift, and yeah, gets away from this 7-pin penchant, takes the 7-mon penchant instead. Much better.
Simon also very held.
It's completely held.
And neither player will drop it unless Max draws another 6-mon again.
But with the information you have, it's definitely the right way to approach this.
Oh, absolutely.
5-so pair up across the way. Could even consider Chitoi. I'd go 4-mon here. Yes, does.
Even if Dennis doesn't get to his Baimon or Sanbaimon hand, he can at least try to be Tempai. And
yeah, Max is a little concerned here. Max has to get Tempai. Not there yet. Just stuck in Ishanten hell. And the 6 backfire.
That spot that you mentioned, Emily also wants Max to be Tempai. So if she doesn't think he's gotten there yet, she might try to help him out a little bit.
3-so. Could go regular hand here. Cuts the 6. The 5 may come out next turn, though, and that would do it. At the same time, if Emily's stuck on the Chi-Toy, the 5's just going to get held.
Yeah, and if Emily thinks that Max is already Tempai, then she doesn't feel the need.
Oh,
3,
gives
that will
the
do it.
3. Good enough. Tempai now, 6-pin, 7-mon for Tanya Dora 1.
Dennis running out of draws now.
All of the outs are in Dennis's hand right now.
Yeah, there's one 6-pin discarded.
Which is discarded on the right by Brian on turn 2. It's just completely dead.
Now can Brian find Tempai? Have a safe route. I mean, he can pull into Tempai cutting the 2-pin. If the 3-so, there are no more 3-sos left, so that's not possible.
Yeah. Now the thing here is, this will still be worth 3,000. This is worth as much as winning this hand. No one's Tempai. Oh no, I take it back. It's Tempai there on the very end, the last draw, and says, "I don't care. I might as well just Riichi this."
Aiming for Ipatsu Hote.
We might see should be a pawn cut 4-so or 5-so.
Suddenly everyone got there.
Everyone got there except for Brian.
That's
wow.
huge.
Everything just changed immediately.
And that's an extra 4,000 points that Max has gained. So on catching up.
Yeah, closes the gap here. Of course, Max does absolutely have to get first, though. But there is 1,300 in the middle, has a tune pair, fairly easy call and go hand, or you could go Chi-Toy with this. On the right, that 5's an amazing fill there. Still definitely needs the 3-so across the way. 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku, not really that much value. Has a Dora, so pair that up, maybe get something. Haku prep doesn't really do much immediately. On the left, well, there's our Haku, and it's the last one. So that Haku's now a dead pair in Dennis's hand. And on the left, Emily has 2-3 Sanshoku. So I know who you're cheering for here.
Is that going to be enough value, though? To be some...
Oh, 9-mon pair up across the way. Dennis does manage to fill this, but it's a long way. Might even be dreaming of 9 Doko. Oh, but we have Tempai here. Riichi, possible Ipeiko, 3-so, 6-so.
Winning the Riichi stick that Emily left on the table would be huge here. Right now, the gap for Dennis, 4.9 points with the current placement. Remember, even if he overcomes that gap, the game does not end. It won't end until his dealership actually passes.
There's the 3-so, but going to be held. Let's see, how many do we have? 1 6-so left and 2 3-so left.
Tough defensive task for Brian, but he has 6-mon, and maybe a 9-pin can pass through. 2-so Xuzhi now. 2-so should be pretty safe here. You could also try to play for this hand, though. Yeah, we'll play the 2-so first, and I think if he draws the 5-so, he might just jam the 9-pin.
Yeah, 9-pin doesn't look that bad here. 8-2 very rarely waits on 9. It often waits on 1-4. Oh, well, that's just Isha 10. You're currently headless.
4-so Nakasuji as well.
Just can't go with that.
Of course, 6-mon, 7-mon are Genbutsu. That's probably the safest way to try to get
Could
there.
also go 6-7.
Oh, he is playing the 9-pin as expected. And could see a lot of trouble if he draws the 4-so.
The 8-pin is safe. Oh, and another 6. 6 is now dead. Just drawing to 2 3-so.
Only 3-so remains in the wall.
Means Ipeiko is also dead unless it somehow comes out. Well, speaking of Ipeiko, yeah, it goes to fix it. Oh, and another 3. Just 1 in the wall now.
Dennis backs away from the Chi-Toy, so not close to Tempai. There's
the
there's
there's the last one. And yeah, it looks to be getting out here.
Still
but this 3-so may come out from Emily. If this is Tempai, I imagine you have to take the Tempai if you get a 2, 5, or 8.
And Max is not sad to call the roan here.
Oh, there it is! You have to take Tempai, don't you? You need the Tempai payments. You can't afford to keep paying out. And there it is. And that's going to be the Roan, Riichi Nomi in Iura. No Aura, but does get the sticks from the last round. And plus 4,300. Getting close. Still in second place, though.
By 600 points. Max is sitting behind behind Brian. Dennis has a lot of ground to overcome, even despite being in first.
Okay, well, this looks like a regular hand. You really want to go Tanya, but that 1-1 pin makes it really hard. On the right, that definitely looks like a Tanya hand. Brian just wants to end this here. Across the way, Pinfu hand, nothing fancy. 1 Dora on the left. Pinfu hand, maybe some sort of 789 Sanshigu, but definitely not enough for what Emily needs. 5, so great fill there for Max.
3 so equally good for Brian, though. They're matching speed.
The advantage is that Brian doesn't care, just needs to call anything. Might go with 2 pin here or maybe 3 mon.
Doesn't even need a Dora here, so the 6 mon not particularly useful, other than the fact that it's a better Tanya tile than the 3 mon.
Yeah, there's the 3. Speaking of 3s, 1 drawn across. But does kind of cheapen the hand. Ishan 10 for dealer now. Needs a 3 pin and that 5 mon. Oh, well, do you ever cut the 7 so and play directly, or you cut 4-2? Takes the Ishan 10. Oh, 3 pin, a great draw there for Brian. Now Ishan 10, great shapes. Might even go out to... Oh, there's the perfect fill. Ooh. Which weight do you take? You take the Dora indicator or the Shampoo? I take the Dora indicator.
Agreed.
Each.
There is 1 5 out. Interestingly, the others are all on the wall. Takes the Shampoo. There's a 3, and this is going to be a chase. 3-sided now to shut this down. We see 4 of the outs here in Max's hand.
Brian slams the Riichi to make sure he can win on the 1 pin, but there's only 1 pin left.
Yes, but he doesn't know that. Still, Brian definitely the heavy favorite in this hand right now. Draws a Monzu, but it's not the right one.
This is the game at stake here. Super wide for Brian.
5 misses it. Still on that 1-4-7 versus the 3-4 for Max.
Only 1 4 pin left. Only 1 pin left. 2 7 pins. Another 5. Wait. Dennis can do this with the Riichi sticks. If he hot him on sumos, I think he does it.
Yeah, first there's the 3 deals in Riichi Nomi. No Aura, but does get the direct hit at least. And now in first place, and I believe that makes Max the overall leader right now. Look at the gap on these points.
Yeah, so not only does Brian need to make up the points that he just lost there, but he also needs to bring Max back down to second. So it's going to have to be at sumo.
All right, well, it looks like a Pinfu, maybe Tanya hand here for Max on the right. Ugh. When you need to make a hand, that's not what you want to see. Just going to have to play efficiently, see what happens. Across the way, 2 Dora. Actually, pretty good starting hand here. Would definitely overtake first. Again, this is Dennis playing to potentially make the ridiculous comeback. On the left, Emily with maybe just a Pinfu Tanya hand, maybe a Chitoy. Definitely look a little more Chitoy at that 9-pin pair. But it's just not going to be enough.
I appreciate Brian lagging on the north, the first cut north. He's never going to call that, but he's just recomputing his math because of the placement change as well.
Yeah, that is one difference between online and live. In live, you'll usually get a chance to redo your math on your little notepad, but online, it just keeps going.
Still, it's Max with the advantage here. He shunt them. And he knows that even though he's in the lead here, it's not going to be good enough. Brian's going to be chasing him down, so if he can pad that lead...
Well, plus Dennis is just one Han away.
That's true. Remember, Dennis was Hanuman Sumo from passing Brian, and now that Brian's dealt in, Dennis could reclaim first place and steal it away from Max.
Yes, does, I believe, have to get Mongon level in order to overtake the points. But with 2 Dora, that's your Mongon level right there. Ishan 10 now, potentially. Riichi Pinfu, maybe even Dora 3. We're going to see the 8-pin here. Now, Ishan 10 for Itsu, for Max as well. Oh, there's Tempai. Riichi Pinfu, Dora 2. You absolutely slam this. Based on the scores, I believe Sumo is enough here.
He'll take it.
And there's Tempai as well. It is just Riichi Pinfu. But Max actually can fold out. If he's doing the math, he can realize that as long as Dennis doesn't win this, even the overtake in this game is not enough to overtake the gap in the first one.
Oh my goodness, what an intense situation. Trying to do math in this spot?
Yeah, no pressure.
No kidding. 4 tiles remain in the well, though.
Oh, there's Tempai, 3-sided. Won't take it, though.
8-so might have been safe enough to try,
I think the 8-so was good enough. I'd trust the Totogawa there. Plus, it's 1 chance at this point. Plus, you're in Genbutsu 1 pin, even.
It's a tough spot. Brian kind of hoping that Dennis can take over first, but at the same time, I don't know if that's good enough here.
That 2-5, we haven't counted them, but there are 4 left. An amazing situation at this point in the wall. When I'm in this situation, I'm thinking maybe there's 1 or 2 left, but there it is!
Oh my!
Sumo, hit the button!
Sumo, Pinfu, Dora.
Oh no! Oh no, hit the button!
Sumo.
Okay, that may be him pulling out a phone and taking a screenshot or something.
We're doing that.
There's the Hanemon. That's going to overtake Dennis heading to WRL.
Oh my goodness.
WRC from WRL. The overtake there. The monster comeback. 4th in the first game. Comes back with 62,700. Dennis heading to WRC.
Plus 47.7. Brian takes the minus 21.4. And with that Uda flip, Max is doing it. Or rather, Dennis is doing it. Max had a great effort. Made things so exciting in that all last. But Dennis finds the Uda necessary.
Oh, yeah, because that was a minus. So needed the Ura there on the very end to overtake Brian. Wow.
What a finals. We couldn't have asked for anything better. And you know we have to get an interview. We have to get Dennis in here. I hope he's able to make it. What a fight.
Okay, so I think we have Dennis. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Dennis! Let's go!
How intense. Did you have were you pen and paper or calculator?
I was praying for Ura. Like I knew I needed to flip an Ura, but I don't think there's any other way I can play that hand. If I pass, I'm furry 10. I can't run Brian for direct to get enough. Right. So I think I just have to end up taking the Sumo.
Yeah.
No, Sumo's good there.
We were off. Dennis needed the extra 4.
Yeah, definitely
I needed the Ura. I needed the Ura because Hane wasn't.
That's what I get for trusting Nathaniel.
I was calling it. It's you did it. I mean, I have to.
2.8 point difference
for the entire series. Did you actually believe that you were coming back? I saw you were building these gorgeous hands. There was multiple Sachiko attempts.
Yeah, no, I tried to that entire Hodgson since I was 4th in the last one. Every hand, I'm just thinking about the value I can build because I'm thinking I need Brian in like 4th and 30 points of over, which doesn't end up happening. And so I'm counting, and I need 40 points with the 2 placements once we get into like South 2 or wherever we're at. And by the time Max goes on his dealer run, I'm just seeing the points. Brian goes into loses Rikoku like 2 times or something, and that's another like 6,000 swing I end up eating. And just bit by bit, I got there in the end.
The unsung hero of this match is that one hand, as you mentioned, Max was pushing his dealership, had just gotten to Tenpai. Emily gets to her Chitoi Tenpai, drops the 3-pin. You get to pawn that for a last-second Tenpai.
Yeah,
goes
for
to
K10.
That was the swing. That was the 4,000-point swing you needed.
Yeah. I was trying to think about how often that last push deals in, but I think it was like 1 chance on the 7, so like 3 blockers or something. So I have to throw it, and yeah, I barely eked out the points I needed.
Dennis, well played, buddy. Oh my goodness. What does it mean, Dennis? We got to get the emotions.
It means so much.
I know you were trying to qualify. I remember you were saying, did you go to Snopin or was your last try NAO?
I didn't go to either. My last try for the circuit was Chicago.
That's right. I remember you were saying you were making a run, you were trying, and then you got cooked and didn't get there.
I did so poorly in Chicago. I had the chance to go to Snopin with like the day before, and I ended up deciding against it because going to New York the night before was super expensive, and I didn't think I'd be able to play good mahjong with no sleep because I'd have to take a midnight bus or whatever. So I ended up I didn't qualify for the invitational, and I signed up for the WRL as like, a last hurrah, but I enjoy playing tournaments, so it was more so I was just gonna have fun. And I never expected I'd actually win.
And did you have fun?
Oh, I had so much fun. I'm in the in-person event in New York. I met so many fun people and had a great time. And I considered pretty much this online thing as icing.
Yeah.
Just, extra, fun stuff.
And do you have a passport? Are you ready to go? I
have a passport. I'm gonna just get everything together, make sure.
Yeah, I might want to make sure you have that time off scheduled.
I can make that happen.
Okay, I want to try something. It might not work. I might sound stupid. I'm gonna say, Dennis, you just won the World Riichi League. What are you gonna do next? Can you guess what I want you to say?
I gotta think about which phrasing is it, because obviously, I'm going to Japan.
Oh, he's going.
I was gonna say, also, you could say Tokyo Disneyland. I thought that would be funny.
Oh, they have Disneyland in Tokyo?
Yes,
oh
Disneyland in Tokyo.
I missed the joke. I didn't think there was Disneyland in there.
You guys.
Lack critical information.
Well, okay. Well, now you can schedule that in.
One more flaunt, Dennis. We got to know. A lot of people know you. You've been to a couple tournaments here and there, but not all our viewers do. Let's get the Dennis rundown. How long you been playing for, Dennis? How do you practice? I want to know all of it.
I've been playing seriously for probably just over a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a few years back.
It was 2.5 years. A little over 2.5 years.
A little over 2.5 years.
About 9 months now.
From a certain commentator having a conversation with me. Didn't touch the game for a year. Go back the next year. Fall in love with the game. And the rest is history.
I want to know what's cooking in DC. How do you have 2 players in the finals competing for the top spot? How are y'all doing
it's
it?
because I sacrifice Flo for the club. They don't tell you that. That's the secret.
DC has a really strong practice regiment. We do these training days where we all meet up and we'll play like 6 straight hand shuffle games, six straight hanchan. And I've done, God, maybe 6, 7.
Yeah.
Just, spend the day and we talk about the hands as we're going, and it's amazing practice. And I'm lucky to have such good players in the club who are able to, give me these pointers and help me improve. Like I said on the other stream, Max, in the final with me, has been great. He helps host these games he plays. He's a strong player. Dustin, phenomenal player, qualified through the US Invitational. And obviously, big dog Harrison right here. I would not be here at all if I hadn't walked by and got enamored by an auto table at a random convention in DC.
That's what we want to hear. We're at conventions and everything. I went to Comic-Con a couple times as well, so that's really great to hear. Just incredible. Great game. The entire day was just non-stop action. Everybody did really well, and the climax, you just brought it home with the most exciting ending we could have hoped for.
Yeah. I love this game.
So what have we
That
learned?
makes one of us.
Just Sumo and Hidora.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Riichi 101.
And that last hand, I'm just thinking to myself, they don't call it Dama Mahjong.
Let's go.
I have to slam.
Fortune favors the bold, Dennis. Don't forget it.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you. I will be here in Tokyo. I can't wait to see you. Nathaniel's coming as well. And we have high expectations for your results there as well. So hopefully you'll get lots of practice in before you come.
I'll see you then.
All right. Thank you.
Great
and
work,
congratulations.
Dennis. Yep. Don't celebrate too hard, buddy.
Oh, no promises.
No, you have some months to celebrate.
All right.
Again, what a fantastic finish that was. Entire day has been awesome watching the European finals earlier into this series where 4th place comes back all the way into 1st. Incredibly close battle all the way through. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
All right. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you liked the content, then think about possibly supporting us with a membership. At the very least, come back and check us out next week when we will be covering the Sankei Shimbun Cup individual finals. We did the playoffs, and next week is going to be the finals. About a week and a half, I think, left before that comes up. But yep, and we got lots more content coming up leading up to WRC and even after WRC as well. Gonna take us home, Korak?
All right. Well, there have been a lot of games. This is the second stream of the day. If you didn't catch the stuff earlier, there was the full European WRL Championships. So there's a lot of Zhang content, unless you've been here the whole time, in which case I say you probably need to get some sleep. So with that, this is Korak along with Nathaniel, Harrison, Jen, and the rest of the WRC broadcasting team. Hoping to see you next week.